to This Week Tonight with co-host Jeff Hicks, the world's classiest bullshitter. And now, your host, the lady who wears the pants when she goes on rants, the trip with the wild hair flip, Jessie Milestone.
Me.
Exactly.
What's on my
I
foot?
don't know. Pistachio.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Stinky feet. They probably are stinky. Who knows?
We just took a shower.
Oh, we did shower not long ago. I
Yeah,
forgot.
we're clean.
I showered before work this time. Wee.
Yeah.
All right. Me, Jesse, and Jeff. Greg Kirby is here. The plug is here. Bruce Lombardo is here.
That's
Tony
the
is
plug
here.
78.
He's waiting for the stream to start. What? The plug 78. Sorry. The plug 78. Go Big Boy or Go Home is here. James Zabeka is here. Abnormally Average is here. What's up? What's up? Hawkticus History Corner is here in the chat, soon to be here on the stream itself. Very excited, very excited. The link to his channels in the description below, so make sure you go grab that. Also, make sure you do press the like button. Please
Beth
do
Degoo's
that.
here.
Oh, Beth Degoo is here. That's important too. We like that. We like Beth. Mando Merck is here.
Did we say
Dr.
Coffin?
Coffin Nails, he's very important.
Hi,
He
Bruce
is
Lombardo.
here.
Thanks for jumping over streams.
Hey, TLJ Screwjob is here too. That's one of your guys.
Yeah.
Connor, the Raging Rhino's here, of course. John Connors is here.
Paul Godin's here, too.
All right, and we got our first super chat of the evening from Bruce Lombardo. I might fall out, but you need better coffee. Okay.
We do need coffee
We
in
need
general.
coffee. I was
It's
thinking
been
about that. We need
weeks.
to grind our beans. I like how I got you all the tools. I was like, all right, Jeff, here is a coffee, a French press,
Mhm.
and here is a grinder for beans,
Mhm.
so you can have whole beans and have fresh ground coffee. And Lando, he just kicked Jane off of his food, or is that Han? Probably Lando. Can you? Oh, I got it. Hey, ass clown! Not your food. That's your food that your brother's currently eating. Get out.
Aren't cats great?
Yeah, especially when you're bored of them.
Yeah.
Eat that before your brother fucking does.
Eat the food, you fat lard. Tina, eat some ham.
Jane Little, no, eat your food. It is safe. I promise. You don't have to let your brother bully you. Jane Little, it is okay.
He's afraid now.
It's okay. He's afraid of his food because of his stupid ass brother. Hey, stupid!
Here, give him to me. I'll hold him.
Here. Play with that. You like that food? Play with that. Like your stupid little treat ball.
I do love when the Philly comes out in you.
Hey, stupid! 100% of the time when I say stupid.
Oh, I know.
Rosetta Allen says, I have 3 feline assholes, so you know all about it.
Mhm.
That's yours, apparently.
No, that was on the table all day.
It's not mine. I just on my tabs. This one's mine. Anyway,
Are you still dancing to your theme song?
maybe. I was dancing to the Corona.
Cats.
I was dancing to the Corona one.
Cats.
We did write a new song. I wrote a new song. It's called Cats. And it just goes cat, 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 cat.
That's
cat,
not how your hands
cat, 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 cat. We'll have to be pointing at a cat, but there's no cat. Cat, 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 cats, because there's 2 of them over there.
Now, I asked you this in the shower, but I
Yo.
wanted to ask you in front of everybody.
Okay.
Is it better than the bag song?
Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to
Oh
perform
my
bags in the
god.
chat.
Oh my god. So I have some stuff. I have some songs that I sing sometimes for fun that, should remain between. They're like the kind of cutesy, silly little songs that you don't fucking tell anybody about.
You sing it at the airport in front of hundreds of people.
So now he tells everyone. So I have a song that makes the bags come from the or just anytime you have bags around, anytime you're holding bags or dealing with bags, or specifically want to summon bags from the conveyor belt at the airport, and it just goes bags.
Summon the bag.
Oh my god, it works! See, I told you.
It's a cool bag, too.
Bags. So that's the bag song.
Who's
And
your favorite besides Han Solo?
Han Solo. I'll take Boba Fett.
Is it weird that my complaints are the Yoda's giant head
Yoda's head is gigantic.
and that Yoda and Boba Fett are on here when everyone else is clearly from A New Hope?
Han also looks like he's wearing lipstick.
He does look effeminate, and so does Luke.
Yeah, but Luke always looks effeminate, so that's not new.
True. And Princess Leia,
Oh,
she looks like character.
Thank you, Dr. Covenant says, don't skip Rosetta Allen's super chat. Of course not. Jesse, Jeff, hugs, sweeties. Thank you, Rosetta Allen. Hugs to
This
you.
is from Rosetta Allen.
This is, and these are we're sending them back to you too. There's your hugs. We miss you. It sounded like you were doing a little better. So that's good. And, keep it up. Guys, this is one of the great things about, and I always see this highlighted when I talk to Rosetta. She's dealt with a lot of hardships. She's dealing with a lot of hardships. And she always comes back and tells me how supportive, people from the Fandom Menace community are for her on Twitter, on YouTube, all these things. So I just think it's really cool. It's a great opportunity. I bitch about the internet and technology and what it's done to our society. And I really feel a lot of those things a lot of the time. But the flip side is that, even though it makes certain people feel validated in being stupid, it also gives other people who don't necessarily have the tools to make the connections they want. It gives them a community. It gives them an opportunity to find a community and feel accepted. So, it's sort of like this. It's the slippery slope. It's that finding acceptance is such a beautiful thing. Lando, I swear to God,
Lando. You got him.
Yeah, I also got your pancake a little bit.
That's your pancake.
Who cares?
You loser.
But
Lando, get away from that bowl. There's a lot of food in there. Shit.
It's fine.
All right.
Whatever. Gene, you gotta learn to stand up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, so it's that slippery slope, where we found that was a beautiful thing that happened is we found this beautiful acceptance, and then some people just took it too far and were like, I've been accepted. Now that's an excuse for me to be a raging Cuntosaurus Rex all the time forever, which is hilarious because they're the ones who come and attack the Fandom Menace, and we're the ones who actually support each other and accept people in spite of differences. So weird how that works. Because if you're different, you have to be different in the way that they say is okay. Otherwise, you can't be different. Beth Goo says you're going to scare the crap out of her kid someday.
What we just
we're literally just talking about that. We talked about how we're gonna prank them by when they're asking for something. We'll say, ask your mother, ask your father, and just send bounce them back and forth, and then eventually send the thing probably because we're true assholes. But. All right. Wayward Astronaut says, fun fact, the Star Fortress bombers are actually slower than their inspiration, the B-17. A YouTuber by the name of 2 and 900 did a video on it. Well, that's a perfect super chat to have. What the fuck? Chim7247. Thank you for the super chat. Karen 2, electric bitching at you.
Instead of I love it.
Okay. Oh, bitching. I get it. I'm retarded. I'm like, because the sense of electric bitching at you. That's funny. Did you know that whole thing?
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah, the electric boogaloo trope made its way into becoming a underground calling to arms for radical militia groups. To overthrow the government. Yeah, because it was like white nationalists and stuff like that. It's because it was Civil War II electric boogaloo, and that started trending on 4chan, of course. And then they were like, "Ooh, that'd be great. Electric boogaloo would be a great code." The original movie was like Break-In or something. Yeah,
it's funny how a white militia group.
Yes,
it's appropriating a black breakdancing
exactly.
movie.
I think it's hysterical. So, oh my God. Go Big Bora, Go Home says, oh, Jesse, I just acquired a super rare Ruger Blackhawk for my channel. I'm so excited. Please let me know when you put up a video of it. I will definitely check it out. Sorry, I'm skipping around here because we also got Rosetta Allen who says, you're a brat, you're crazy, and I love arguing with you. That said, you're an amazing friend and tons of fun to talk to. Miss you. I feel like this super chat right here just exemplifies everything I was just saying. It's like we're a great community. We love each other in spite of our differences. We're not afraid to call each other out, too. As Rosetta said, we like arguing with each other. It's fun. Balam, who you see in here as that K-Stu fan, we argue about stuff all the time. We disagree fiercely over a lot of these kinds of things. Yeah. And that makes us better friends. It makes us better people, honestly, because we challenge each other and we get better. Okay, so Hawkticus History Corner. Without further ado, I'm going to send this link his way. Hopefully he's checking his Patreon messages because I got to send this. I copy it. Okay, hooray. But I just wanted to leave this chat up here from Wayward Astronaut because this is very much up his alley. So where's my massages? Where's my massages?
U.S.
Yeehaw. All right. She Pancake's just playing with the butterfly, even though it's not doing anything. Okay. Hawkticus. Sorry, Hawkticus has the link, so hopefully he's following so that he's looking for it.
Is a plural of Hawkticus Hawkticai?
Hawkticai. We'll have to ask him. I guess it's up to him. That could come up later in
Hawkticai.
Madlibs. All right. So Hawkticus, you have the link now. I'm going to leave the super chat up here. Obviously, we get new ones. We'll read those as well. But I just want to leave this up here because I think it's going to be a great jumping off point. Something that I think Hawkticus is definitely going to want to weigh in on. If you read the description, you know this guy is up to date on his Star Wars spaceship history. He's deep in that lore. So Mike W says, "What's an electric boogaloo?" And the world will never know. Now apparently it's a code word for racist people who want to start Civil War #2.
You know what it is for me in my heart? A really shitty movie.
I've never seen it.
We're not going to watch
Good.
it. But we're going to watch the documentary about it.
Is the original one any better?
If you're going to watch Breakin', you got to watch Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. I think they both came out in the same year.
That's amazing.
So I'm just saying,
I feel like I want to watch them back to back at some point just for fun.
Let me just see where they're at, if they're streaming anywhere.
Girthy Guitar says native California is actually fairly conservative. We just have everyone else's weirdos who come here. That's not necessarily wrong. All right, and we have Hawkticus. What's up, my dude?
It is working. Excellent.
It is working. You are here. We hear you. We see you. It's great.
Great.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm the guy who sits there and makes fun of shitty bombers in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we calling you Hawkticus?
Hawk's fine.
Hawk. That works too. All right. Hawk, Jeff, Hawk.
What up?
Hawkticus.
Stop.
Okay.
First, I love astronauts thing because I saw that video.
Yeah.
And I fucking laughed because the B-17 doesn't even break 300 miles an hour.
Wow.
So someone did it, and it was, I'm trying to remember the exact speed, but it's fucking terrible. It's like 120 miles an hour. Oh, there's my dog.
Puppy! Hi, puppy.
Yeah, she was sleeping on the couch quietly while you're screaming at your cats.
She was like, I'm not in trouble.
She's like, no, I'm just going to lay on the couch and take a nap because that's what I do all day, right?
I'm a dog. I'm never in trouble because I am good. Meanwhile, the cats are like, we're assholes. Bye.
Except Jane. Look at Jane.
Jane is so good.
You're not wrong.
Other question. All right, plural of Hawkticus. Is it Hawkticai?
I don't know.
I mean, you invented the name, so I guess it's up to you.
It's your history.
I don't know. What's the plural of Maximus?
That would be Maximi. Yeah.
Sure. Then we'll
In
go with
Latin,
that.
there you go. If it's a Latin origin, it would be an I, or, we pronounced E in Latin. So Hawkticus.
Weird Roman shit. We'll go with that.
We'll go with Hawkticai. Cool beans. RC Scott, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey guys, after I finish this new short story, I'm taking my first and long overdue crack at writing a comic book script. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Obviously, if you need resources for helping with that, we have people who've done it right here and all over the fandom menace. So,
don't turn Captain America into a Nazi. That's my #1 tip.
Or if you're doing that, it better be an alternate reality version or something.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Put some damn effort into it, please.
Right? Yeah. Oh, did you happen to notice the thumbnail I made for tonight?
Yes, I did. There's Y-Wings. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, I have a Y-Wing.
Yay!
It's from X-Wing.
It's lovely.
Oh, that tabletop game?
Let's see.
Yep. This is the Scum Y-Wings.
Nice.
There we go. That's a little better. They're really nice models, actually. Like, they're really high quality for being pre-made and pre-painted.
My friend tried to get me to get into that game, but I didn't have the money at the time. It looked like it was an expensive undertaking to start.
Can we talk about how every... Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you cut out.
Okay. We stopped. We cut out for a second. But I did want to say, I just want to note that how every guest on our channel has pets. So Hadas, she's fired.
That's fine.
Can you really fire a real life friend though?
Yes, she's fired from being my friend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hadas, you'll see this one, right?
Maybe I'll just tell her later. It's fine. Right now, we're just going back and forth, just naming animals to each other in plural with exclamation points. I don't know why. She's a good friend. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Hawk.
Okay. I am just a dude who I started on YouTube doing political shit like 3 years ago. And then that got depressing. So I said, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore. And then I went over to my history channel and started cutting stuff in my backyard with swords and talking about D&D mostly. And then I railed about The Last Jedi for a while. There's an hour-long rant about how the war in that entire setup does not make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, Bruce Lombardo says, that's my love. I will tell her that you send your love. And no Hadass tonight. She said she'd rather die than waste her time with the likes of you. That's not true at all. She just said she was feeling tired and wanted to stay in her little cave. So anyway. Yeah, so what if you want to give us highlights from that hour-long rant?
Okay. The first setup here, I'm just going to go with the one that started the whole rant in the first place, is I was comparing the New Republic, which I don't even want to call it that because the actual New Republic from the expanded universe in Legends is actually competently made and makes sense. Like, they don't just, hey, it's a year and a half later, suddenly we fucking exist. It's like, no, it's like 6 years later, and now we've got Coruscant, and then Thrawn shows up, and just a whole bunch of shit happens. And it's like, yeah, this took you a decade to get this rolling. But going through that, Mon Mothma apparently goes insane and, like, completely demilitarizes them. So they're, like, gutted militarily.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No. Then you get the MC 85. It's the MC 80 or 85. I can't remember what it is. It's the Raddus, that class of ship.
Mm-hmm.
It is anemically armed. It's like the equivalent of making a tank. And it's like making a King Tiger or a Panther and then putting a 37 millimeter cannon on it.
Yeah.
Which is what was on the first Panzers, and it was dinky.
Yeah.
And then they realized we need a bigger gun. So that's kind of the same thing going on here. The Raddus has, like, no firepower. Like, I was comparing it to a Nebulon B frigate, and they have roughly equivalent firepower.
That's upsetting.
And it's a Mon Cal cruiser, so it's like 3 or 4 times the size.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
like,
that's
it's even bigger than the Home One, which is already, I think, like 1,500 meters, so it's fairly sizable as is.
Yeah.
And the Raddus, I think, was almost 2,000.
Yeah.
And you have the firepower of a 700-meter long frigate.
Yeah.
Your shields are nice, great. You're reasonably maneuverable, great. You have backup shields, which is rare in Star Wars, also great. I don't give a shit because the Resurgent-class Star Destroyer has a retarded amount of guns. I'm bothered by how the guns are laid out in the books because they made manuals.
Yeah.
This is kind of the neat thing about it. This is why I love Star Wars, because you can go digging into the manuals and they don't make any actual sense, but in universe, they're all standardized to make sense, at least in universe.
I think that's really cool too. I used to have a bunch of those when I was a kid. All the cross.
Great. Like the Imperial 2 has, hey, we have 50 turbo laser batteries or heavy turbo laser batteries, and they tell you where they are, roughly speaking. Then you go to the fucking Resurgent, and it has 1,500 plus turbo lasers, point defense laser cannons, and ion cannons.
What? Why?
How do you point defense is its own number, and then turbo lasers are their own number, and then ion cannons are their own number, because they're all different fucking guns.
And they're used for different things. Yeah, it's not just mishmash of all these. We threw them around, figure out where we put which ones.
Yeah, you have 1,500 guns. So this setup could be 1 turbo laser and 1,498 point defense lasers, and then 1 ion cannon. It's a stupid layout, but it could technically be this. And I'm like, it's in batteries.
Yeah,
it's in a battery. They're all together. Like, I have 4 turbo lasers in a battery together. Yeah. And then the point defense lasers are in a battery together, because that's how this works on a ship this big.
Yeah.
And then you just look at a fire comparison. Like, the Raddus had like a grand total of 100 guns compared to this thing. And I'm like, who the fuck did this math?
Because when you look at things, well, before I jump in on this and go crazy again, I want to read the super chat that came in from Chim247. Thank you so much for the super chat. If you don't want to watch Breakin' 2 again, Jeff, just have Jesse watch Chaka Khan. I feel for you to get the gist.
We can watch the Chaka Khan video, but I found out that Breakin' 2 is on Amazon.
Electric Boogaloo.
So we're watching it.
Oh my god. I need to, prepare. Yeah. And Justin Proper's got it right. A press, caress, and lick the like button. Whatever you want to do to it, whatever you feel like doing to it, you don't need to worry about its consent.
Wait, what's the last part?
Lick.
I won't do that.
A press, caress, and lick the like. Wow. You Corona kiss me at the end of every stream. Now you're getting shy. Okay, there we go, everybody. It's just the idiocy of that, because I read something about that too, how they're supposedly, I was trying to read some back history of how shit even came to be, as like led a faction. That's what became the resistance of people who were like, no, we actually need guns to win against other armies. We are the superpower. Like, what fucking psycho anybody, any leader ever in history or pretend history decides we won this major conflict against a major enemy. We are the major reigning power in the galaxy. Let's just completely demilitarize. That's, I mean, countries that get demilitarized after wars are the ones who are the bad guys, you know, the losers who the victors decide you don't get guns anymore because you fucked everything up last time you had them, you know, as a la Germany post World War II. That's the one.
Germany and Japan, we took them away and then we gave them back later.
Exactly. We're like, now that you've proven you're not psychopathic anymore, you can have these slowly. We're also going to hang out here and make sure you don't do wrong things with them. Cool. Like that's what happens. People in power aren't like, you know what we'll probably never need to do ever again? Defend ourselves from others, from existential threats. We'll never need to do that.
The Czech kind of made a point here, and Mad Cabal, that the Allies after World War I sort of did.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not quite getting across the metric here. It's not just, okay, we're going to scale down a bit because this last war was so utterly fucking horrific that we're never doing it again because, that wasn't actually what happened.
Yeah.
That would have been the Clone Wars if that was going to happen at all, but that's not quite what happened with the Rebellion because the Rebellion wasn't even that big of a scale war-wise.
Yeah.
Like, it was a big conflict that went everywhere, but it was very low-key across, like, the whole galaxy. It's just there was big hot pockets across it.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end, and Mon Mothma's basically, we're pitching, like, the entire military out the fucking window, and it makes no sense.
Absolutely.
Because you literally just fought a war against a totalitarian government. You kind of, like, they're still there. Like, you, even inside of their own stupid timeline, you literally just broke a Superstar Destroyer.
Yeah.
The fight over Jakku is stupid as hell, by the way. It's awful. Yeah. It's an awful, awful fight that makes no damn sense.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to just vaguely give you, like, the one line that sticks out. Because there's the planet. So my fist is the planet. The idiot arranges his Star Destroyers in a line like this. And his Superstar Destroyer is sitting behind the line. I don't know why he's doing this first off, but let's go with it. He's got a battle line. Okay, fine. It's the giant, death triangle. So all the guns can point upwards and shoot this way. Okay, fine. Maybe this is a plan. And then the rebels win by charging a ship through real quick, yanking on the Superstar Destroyer with a tractor beam and pulling it down. Now it's an interesting maneuver. But the Star Destroyer never should have been in this position to make it work. Because then it gets, like, partially dragged into the fucking gravity well and then gets blasted to hell and back.
Did that happen in the movie?
No, that's in one of the expanded content.
All I remember in the movie is it just started crashing. Like, that was a dumb scene anyway.
So basically what you're saying is that they were in this completely illogical formation purely so that the resistance could pull off this dumbass maneuver.
Yeah, instead of, what we see at, Endor, where they're all aligned out there in space, pointing forward, because that's the one thing Star Destroyers do stupidly well, because it's why it's designed that way.
Yeah.
There's the cross of fire out in front of them.
Yeah.
Because here's the Star Destroyer. If you're sitting up in front of it, you're dead, because every single one of their guns can hit you. Mm-hmm. They will rip you to pieces. They even have a fair amount on the bottom, too. So it's like, you don't want to be in front of this thing.
No.
Behind it is the one safe point, but have fun getting back there.
Yeah.
So they arrange themselves sillily, and then the Super Star Destroyer is too close to the planet gravity well to properly pull itself out in case someone does something stupid.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to be that close to the planet to fire on it anyway. It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm not even sure why they were at Jakku, because if you actually look at the galactic map vaguely, because they firstly chucked the old galactic map we had, which was
idiotic.
Yeah, the one Galaxy started that, we have our nice thing, we got our big everything else. Because Star Wars Galaxies, as far as I'm aware, started the original map, and then everyone just started figuring out where everything belongs from there.
Yeah.
And because we had coordinates on grids, and we're like, what's this whole grid thing? And then it all got there. That's why I love the tabletop games. They give you these wonderful maps to work with.
Yeah.
And Jakku is like, here's the core. Here's everything. The unknown regions are over on this side. Mm-hmm. Jakku's like way over here in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
And they're like, yeah, definitely. We need to go have a battle on this planet where nothing important happens ever.
Like Endor is closer to things than Jakku is. And Endor is in the back ass end of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because what are you going there for? There's no reason to be out there. Mm-hmm. And Jakku is just off it somewhere. And I'm like, why are you here? You have a super Star Destroyer. Go sit at the Kuat drive yards and just go, I dare you to come in here with my 8 million guns.
Right, my unnecessary amount of firepower. It's armed like the U.S. military. Unnecessary amounts of firepower for all.
You're sitting in the Kuat drive yards on top of that. Like, if you just sit there, okay, I've got my 1 Star Destroyer, I've got my 8 other Star Destroyers. We have enough stuff to maintain the ships. They don't have to go anywhere. And then there's all the Kuat drive yard defenses.
Yeah.
And Kuat is firmly on your side because they're a hyper... I don't know if this is maintained, but I've yet to see anything to counteract it. But the old way the Kuat drive yard works is that the super rich people live on, I think, one of the moons. I think one of the moons is really nice, and one of the other planets is really shit. I might have that reversed spin for purposes I've read it. But basically, the super rich people run the company, and they're basically nobility. They're effectively landed aristocracy, and everyone else is basically peasants. So it's like, yeah, no, they're with the Empire because they're going to get royally fucked if they stop being with the Empire.
Yep. Like, this is
leaving. It's like
the laws of the Empire are better than the laws of the rich people.
Yeah, it's like the Mon Calamari with the rebellion. They're not leaving the rebellion because they're going to get fucked if they leave the rebellion. So
absolutely.
There you sit. And it's like, I'm sorry, the Kuat drive yards has got 1,000 years of buildup you have to plow through. Have fun with that. have fun going through that shit show.
Imagine Disney trying to dig into the Kuat. That would probably, they would just be like, and through the power of love, it was all better. And the rich people just all killed.
They'd probably just siege them out, park an interdictor on the couple paths in, and then just sit.
I said, Disney got a hold of it, they would just probably blow up the rich people planet because rich people are evil. And whichever it is, the moon or the planet that the rich people are on, they'll just blow that one up and be like, and they're emancipated and everyone lived happily ever after.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that we're not being subtle here with allegories. Because what are allegories? The fuck's an allegory? We're not doing that anymore.
Why would we have that when we could just have actual space casinos that look just like Earth casinos, except they're filled with slightly weird-looking aliens that don't look like they have a place anywhere on Earth or in the Star Wars universe?
I didn't...
Space casino?
Spacino.
I don't even mind the space casino in theory because Star Wars has space casinos. It's like, fine, space casino, cool. Why is everyone walking around in a tuxedo?
Right, that was my biggest thing. It's like they really got their wires crossed in terms of what to make, because that was one of the things, and we've talked about this before, is what the original trilogy does so well is has things that are unfamiliar and things that are relatable. You know, you have a stupid ass last name like Skywalker with a very inviting first name like Luke. You know, you have space battles and adventures and chases, and you have a little farm boy who dreams of a bigger life. You have a scoundrel who's just out for the gold, but then, you know, gets swept off his feet by the girl.
You also have a ship like an X-Wing that looks like an airplane.
You have an X-Wing,
but then a TIE fighter looks like nothing you've ever seen before.
Exactly.
So it's like, well, I know what an airplane is. I can at least buy into that.
Yeah, you walk into the cantina, and I get the idea of a scummy bar where low life come to meet each other, and so that trope is in your mind. But the actual technical execution with the details, you have some weird looking aliens, you have, you know, weird looking drinks, you have all the stuff that populates this world is abnormal. So yeah, you have a space casino. We know this exists. You know, we have gambling is part of
gold coins.
But yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff like that we all know.
You know,
slot machine.
So we have enough, just a casino, right? Any kind of environment that gambling, that sort of crowd mentality. We're all going to gather around this table and yell about things and get really excited or really disappointed. We know that's gambling. We don't need any further additional reference to gambling. We don't need a roulette table. We don't need people in tuxedos. We don't need cocktail waitresses just scantily dressed. We don't need any of the other visual references that we have for a casino other than that very vague outline. And then you populate it with realistic looking aliens, with fancy space clothes that are actually what your elite wear, with, you know, strange cocktails that make noise or something that doesn't look like just a fucking flute of champagne or something like that, you know? And that's where they really lost it. It's like, bring in the familiar feeling, populate it with unfamiliar things, you know?
How do you feel about in like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek when they actually drink like Budweiser beer?
That's so
isn't
dumb.
That weird though?
Well,
I know it's on Earth, but it feels like
that one gets a little bit of a pass, but at the same time, I'm like, just call it beer. It's
right.
Just fucking beer coming out of a replicator, guys. It's not going to have Budweiser on it.
No fucking person asked for a Budweiser from a replicator either. If you're going to go to a replicator, you're going to get something fancier. See, what would have been funny is if they, you know, if he gets a beer from a replicator and he like gets a really fancy beer, like a really niche like craft beer or something like that. Like
Like
pulls a Sam
Oberon or
Adams out of it. Even
Sam
I
Adams.
said even just
Yeah,
pulls a Sam Adams out of it.
Sam Adams or Leinenkugel something, or he's like, he goes in there because he's like, well, I need a list of beers. This is this monstrous list of beer, and he's like, never tried this one. Click.
Boom. That would be fun. That would be
I'd
fun.
try.
But yeah, see that's the thing is.
The Star Wars Casino one fucking bothered me because it's like, we can shit on the prequels all day because good idea, terrible execution.
Absolutely.
I love the prequels, what they gave me, because all the expanded stuff around it was fantastic.
Oh, that's true.
The movies are deeply flawed, with 3 kind of trying to do its best to save it.
Yeah.
It tried. It was generally successful. Whatever. But 2, when Obi-Wan's walking into that seedy-ass bar, up on the screen, there is something that vaguely looks like football with droids. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the game's called. I have no idea what they're doing, but it's like, it looks footballish.
Yeah.
There's a pod racing thing. And then there is basically their version of the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
There's these big raptor lizard things being ridden by tiny people. Yeah. And I'm like, that's racing. So when we get to the casino, I'm like, okay, slot machines. Sure, slot machines are universal. It's going to be whatever it is. I don't care. The craps table was dumb because it's like, why is there not Pazak and Sabak?
Exactly.
Like we already have rules for these. We can
exactly. That's the whole ridiculous thing is if you just weren't so fucking lazy with your research, these asshole writers, it's all there for you. You don't have to make this shit up. So you're lazily not making things up. You're just going with what's real because you're not imaginative or creative to make it up. When the joke is you didn't have to. It was already fucking there for you.
Yeah, KOTOR made the rules for you and you could play them and they're a lot of fun. And Wikipedia has them. You could just type in gambling and you can just go down the list. Like, oh wait. Like I think there's a roulette thing called I think it's a Wonder Wheel.
There you go.
I think it's from the comics. It's literally a giant. It's like a Wheel of Fortune. It's a giant, colorful wheel, and you just put it's their version of roulette.
And
you
stuff
put
like
money
that.
on it, and then it spins.
And this is what they don't realize, right? I want to read this super chat before I forget to. Wanderer says, "Hey Jeff, what did you think about the scene from Avengers EMH with Loki and the giant snake?"
I've been looking at it on screen. I'm trying to remember if it's the second season. I don't remember it off the top of my head, Wanderer. But since you sent in a super chat to ask me a question about the show, I will say that the crossover with Spider-Man when they go down to the sewer and they fight, I think they fight a snake down there, but it's the Serpent Society. I have nothing but nice things to say about the show, Wander. So
and my friend is the voice for Thanos on it. Hooray! So where was
I think he's the voice on Avengers Assemble because I don't think Thanos even appears.
Okay, maybe not. Then maybe not.
Because anyway, this is like a
in whatever animated media has Thanos in it. He's that and has been it for a while. Anyway.
It is the first season, Wander says. I'll go back and watch it, man. I'm working my way through as I'm working on a couple art projects, Wander. But keep asking me. I'll gladly answer your question. I hate to leave you hanging, buddy.
So back to the rant that I was just jumping in on. And this is the bullshit thing that they did to us. You know, they did to us as Star Wars fans. And what they so don't get is they're like, you should be happy. We made a dumb reference to the trash compactor. We, replayed the throne room scene. All these, gigantic smacks in the face of like, we remade this old thing. You should like it. It's just like the old one was. Whereas the way you're really going to get us, the things you're going to get us on are that, someone's read the comic with the Wonder Wheel in it and you throw the Wonder Wheel in here with a sign that says Wonder Wheel on it, and you're going to have a whole bunch of people from who've read that particular comic or that deep into the lore who are going to get really excited for it, and then and that's the whole thing. They don't understand what these little references, the Easter eggs that you throw in there. They're not all necessarily for every single fan and every single person watching, but they don't take anything away from the film itself. Right? They don't detract from the flow or affect the way it moves at all. But you're giving something that feels very personal for certain fans. And even if let's say you have 5 different ones of these moments and they all appeal to 5 different subsets, groups of people, that's a wide number of your audience, your pre-existing audience. You can most people get excited about this and they'll tell their friends maybe aren't as into Star Wars or don't care as much how great it was, the attention to detail the filmmakers had, and how respectful they were of the original trilogy. And so people who aren't even necessarily into it start thinking, oh, this must be pretty good. I should go check it out. And that's how this works, as opposed to just completely turning off your old fan base, not giving a good goddamn about us, and going off me like, we can do this with all new people. Like, no, you fucking can't.
Because the other side of this is I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to be a prequel issue. That's what I thought with the first one in here. I'm like, Force Awakens, okay, you basically just copied A New Hope. It was tolerable. I'm like, Finn's okay. He's fun. I like Finn. Han was pointless. I don't know why you put him in here, but okay. Rey is functional, but Daisy Ridley's being rather stiff here. She was. I don't know what the hell was going on there, but she seemed really stiff.
You can really tell if you ever go back and watch it and turn off the volume. The scenes with Rey and Finn it's just so glaringly obvious. John Boyega is just acting circles around her. It's like, what are you doing?
I honestly blame part of the directing on that.
I think so.
I think the director is. I don't think Abrams is giving her good direction as to what the hell she's supposed to be doing.
There are some, yeah.
Boyega's just going. He's like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
Look at who J.J. Abrams usually works with, though. I mean, Chris Pine had been in shit before Star Trek.
Yep.
Zach Quinto had been in shit before Star Trek. All these other people were kind of names. Zoe Saldana had been in whatchamacallit, Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that. Right. Yeah, she's in the first one.
In the first one? Oh, right, she's that chick.
Yeah. But my point is, like, J.J. Abrams really only acts with or directs with established people. Like, what are you going to teach Harrison Ford?
Exactly.
What are you going to teach Carrie Fisher or Mark Hamill? It's like, stand here and say your line. Exactly. I think Daisy Ridley's the only person that had...
She was a complete noob. She had like one independent feature or something like that. Not even a feature.
And she played like a corpse in an episode of something.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever got...
She was a corpse in a show. I'm like, what did she do? She was a side character for a scene.
She's dead ass new on a set like this, on a movie of this
the biggest movie
caliber.
Ever at the time.
Exactly. And you're working with the director. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that he had the capacity to get her where she needed to be. And I think you can see it. I think she actually, her performance loosens up over the films a little bit. Not a ton. I just think it's a very poorly written character. There's not a whole lot to do with it. But I think she looks a little more natural as it goes along, especially I think in The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, that's just the freshest one in my mind. She doesn't seem quite as, again, there's so little for her to do in that movie, though.
And I was making a video and I watched the scene where she fought Kylo Ren.
I was going to say, though, there's just so little for her to do acting wise. Like, there's nothing. There's no arc. There's no emotional depth to her character. There's just fights.
Because none of the characters have a purpose to exist in the world. Every great movie, your characters have a reason to exist. Even the shit we watched last night, each of those characters had a reason for their motivations and actions. With the new Star Wars stuff, it's they exist to get you to the spaceship battle or to the next scene. There's no meat for them to act or eat. There's just nothing for them to do.
Exactly.
The whole thing reminds me of Star Trek Nemesis, which deeply flawed movie.
Yep.
I enjoy the movie for what it is, but it's like, this is not a good Star Trek movie. The difference is, it's like the director kind of remembered these are all people who need to actually do shit.
Yep.
Because, like, Jean-Luc Picard is doing things. A lot of other people aren't doing things, but the director does kind of avoid that by just, we're going to watch Picard here.
Things,
I don't have a lot for everyone else to do, so we'll just ignore that problem.
Yeah.
But I did notice in The Last Jedi, and one of the few good things about this is, Daisy is doing better. I think it's because Mark is sitting there and just going, nope, do this, let's do this.
Oh, probably. And that's I think a very good point. I think her scenes, her interactions with Mark Hamill are some of her most alive, if you will. I think definitely it's closer to being human.
Yeah.
We have almost 100 people watching, and we have 76 impressions of the like button. So let's get that up over 100. I know we can do it tonight. Also, Hawkticus of Hawkticus History Corner. Make sure his channel description is right in the description of this video. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe. The link to his channel is in the description. So check it out. Subscribe. He hits stuff in his backyard with weapons and talks about other things.
Lots of things. Lots of random stuff. And honestly, the sad part, I look at The Last Jedi, and I'm like, the effects are so good. Oh my god, the special effects. Whoever got paid to do special effects deserves more money, because holy shit, they're good. The hyperspace ramp pisses me off.
God.
It's so pretty, but it's so stupid.
So pointless. It's beautiful set pieces, visually stunning, absolutely, which is why it's such a shame, because it's like, you had all the resources. What the fuck are you guys doing?
I remember watching it, and I'm like, the first thing I'm like, oh my god, it's like, oh, she's in a ram. Okay, ramming is legit. You've got nothing else. Put all the shields up. You got more than enough. Just barrel into them. That'll hurt. Why are you going to hyperspace? Oh, no. Boom. And I'm like, well, that's really pretty. I like the sound design. It's quiet, and there's a big boom and all. Like, it's really cool. To quote Vegeta from the Team 4-Star, it's so cool, but that's so dumb. But that's so cool. But that's so dumb.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just retarded. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You broke the first rule of sci-fi. Don't weaponize FTL.
Oh my god, that's what drives me crazy about the throne room scene, because that's more, my bent in stuff. Everyone's like, it looks so cool. I'm like, but did you really watch? Because if you just sit back and go, ooh, pretty shiny, fighty, weird weapons, it looks cool. But look just a little bit closer, none of it makes any sense.
The fucking guy's hand is CGI'd out because he was going to stab her, remember?
There's a dude who literally runs up to Kylo Ren to stab him.
Dead to right.
Stops short and just throws his spear away and allows himself to be killed first. Yeah. There's a guy who just sits on his knees and is like, dude, behead me, I'm fucking done. What is happening? Who approved this shit? And then if you actually look at the time, the time lapse between what happens in every moment, you're like, all right, so Kylo Ren did these 8,000 different things, because Adam Driver apparently actually likes doing stunts and learns this shit. So Kylo Ren is off here doing 8,000 different things, and he's taken out 4 different baddies at this point. And we go back, and Daisy Ridley, fucking Rey, is still doing the same 2 moves against somebody and getting cut in the process. And you're like, how is she not dead yet? She is so purely incompetent in this scene. How is she not fucking dead?
Yeah, there's. If anyone wants to watch a complete and utter, just ridiculous minutia video, Shad on Shadiversity does this. He'll take you to breakdowns of fight scenes.
Yeah.
And he did one of the throne room, and I watched it all the way through because I'm like, okay, I watched this fight. This is not a great fight. I'm like, this is not good. I was happy that the armor did something. Armor that does shit in a movie. Holy fuck! It's a miracle. And then they neatly forget it when he stabs him in the chest. I'm like, no. Hit him in the neck at least if you're gonna. I'm gonna block him with my shoulder guards.
Yep.
Cool. Piece of Cortosis armor. Thank you. And then he gets stabbed in the chest. I'm like, wait.
Exactly.
What? Okay. The dude with the knives. The dude with the fucking knives. All right. Here is like this. Here's Rey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, totally.
And then it's just gone. Just the knife's gone. I'm like,
where's
what
the
the
knife?
fuck is the fight choreography?
Oh god, I want to fire. I want to go back in time and fire whoever was the fight because that's someone had to fucking approve this. And if you look at it, I think it's shot. I think at least parts of it are shot slower. A lot of fight scenes do that where they shoot it slower and they speed it up in the end when anywhere place you don't have dialogue. You can even ADR the dialogue in afterwards too. But
it is what it is.
Huh?
It is what it is. It's like I understand that happens.
Yeah, which is totally fine. I don't mind that. You see a lot of because one of the things about it is you want to get it right and you want it to look nice. And if you do it, and you only speed it up as much as you need to get it full speed, it'll look really good. It's difficult to learn a choreographed fight scene at full speed. And what is full speed anyway? It's nice to sort of do a slow measured one and give the final and give the editor a little more control over the final speed. Because the other thing that happens as a fight choreographer, you'll actually go too fast and then it doesn't look good either. So I have no issue with that, right? The problem I have is that if you guys rehearsed this and shot this at this slower speed, these problems should be even more evident. They should be even more obvious, because if you go watch that throne room scene at 50% speed, you will gouge your fucking eyes out before the end.
How do you have this happen? How do we get into a situation like this? How does this arise? My only guess is, and this is a thing Hollywood constantly fucking does now, and it bugs the shit out of me, they don't hire fight choreographers. They're like, we'll just have the stuntman do it. And I'm like,
exactly.
I have great respect for stuntmen. Thank you, stunt coordinators. You do great jobs. They even admit, we're not fight choreographers. I don't know. You want a fist fight? Sure, I can probably do a fist fight. I can do, They Live. We can do that kind of fight where it's this brutal smackdown in an alleyway. Cool, I can do that. A short sword fight? I can probably do that too. You want 2 people versus 8 people in a, 8 minutes, 10 minutes? It wasn't short. It was fairly long.
Yeah, it was something like that. It might have been more like 4, actually. Fight scenes always seem longer than
it just felt long.
It definitely felt long.
Yeah, you got this long fight with 2 people using longsword. Okay. We've got 1 guy in there using longsword, a dude with a whip, 2 knives, an axe. I don't even remember what the hell the other weapons are, but there's 7 weapons in here.
Yeah.
Like,
and don't forget, there's the one sword that turns into the whip too. So
yeah, we have the Ivy Valentine whip sword from Soul Calibur in here, and I'm like, you're not a Force user. What are you doing?
Nice reference.
You are not Lumia, the Dark Lady. Fuck you. You're not using a light whip. Okay, I thought it was cool. I'm like, hey, a light whip, neat. Wait, that means they're Force use, and there's no Force use at all in this entire fight.
No, oh my god, that's
I'm sorry, Kylo. Why are you not going crush?
These are literally the two most Force-sensitive people in the fucking galaxy, according to the lore that they have given us. And yet, there's this fucking scene where, he's just being choked, and he's like, oh no, I'm being choked. Or she's being choked. Well, yeah, she's being choked. She's like, oh god, I'm being choked. How about you just lift your fucking hand and Force choke him back?
See, that's what happens with Star Wars. They wrote themselves into a corner by making the Force more.
By making them so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
It's not like nothing makes sense. Now you've written these folks out of the story, and the only way you can get them back is by having the story not make sense.
And honestly, the original trilogy and even the prequel trilogy actually gets away with not having them throwing Force powers everywhere. Because the original trilogy couldn't afford it, so they didn't do it.
Plus,
the only time we see it where it would be relevant is in Cloud City with Vader versus Luke.
Yeah.
Well, Vader doesn't want to kill him, so he's not doing it. And Luke can't because Vader will just completely fucking no-sell him. Yeah. So there's no reason to try. And so they're focusing it all internally on effectively buffs. They're self-buffing and shit because you're not going to counter each other's self-buffs and you're just going to go for it. Then we get the fight with Palpatine, and Luke can't risk throwing it around because Palpatine will just start doing Sith wizard bullshit. Exactly. And Vader doesn't want to kill him either, so there we are again. We get to the prequels, and I'm sorry, we have Anakin versus Count Dooku. The two of them aren't going to start going Force nuts because why would you? Dooku's got the experience, but Anakin has the raw power, so neither one of them is going to start slinging shit because it's pointless.
Yep.
Yoda does it against Dooku because Dooku's trying to throw him off, but Yoda's just like, I'm no-selling you. Fuck off.
Exactly. And that's even in the Phantom Menace and the Duel of the Fates, there's still plenty of Force jump, there's Force pushes.
But why doesn't he use the Force speed that they show at the beginning of the movie to run through the fucking door locks to save Qui-Gon? That's sloppy writing.
Because, I don't know, maybe you have to run into it a little bit, maybe to build up some speed.
They should have never had that as a Force power. George Lucas got crazy with the Force powers. They're not wizards.
The only way I see that working is... Not sure if he did it in the re-edit or not, because I saw the redo, which looks fantastic. I love the redo of the Phantom Menace. I think they extended the hallway a bit, so he actually was doing it.
Oh,
I'm not sure, honestly. The easy way to do it is just make the distance farther, so he actually does it.
Yeah,
but he can't reach it in time.
Yeah,
and then we have a DBZ moment where, oh yeah, no, you think this is going really, really, it's like, oh, this fight took 2 minutes. No, this fight took 30 seconds. We're just watching it in slow-mo because they're moving at 5 times human speed because Force bullshit.
Of course. I like Andrew Cole's comment. Writing themselves into a corner implies they were writing.
Yeah.
I famously...
Written by committee. Is the only explanation I have.
Well, I famously said of The Last Jedi in my original review, it's like 12 different. They threw 12 different scripts in a blender and only kept the shitty parts. So that's what the whole damn thing feels like. Oh, Keely Chow's here. What's up, Keely Chow? Guys, if you're just joining us, make sure you do press that like button. We are 13 away from 100 likes, and we are joined by Hawkticus tonight, and we're talking Star Wars because it's fun for us. We're shitting on The Last Jedi because it's what we do.
It's like, I can make it a good movie. You can make The Last Jedi a decent film. You're like, if someone had told me, here's the basic plot line you must follow, like they show it has to happen immediately after the movie 7. That's a mistake in and of itself.
Yep. Agreed. 100% agreed.
You don't even need a big time skip. 4 months, 5 months, hell, 2 months is probably enough. Something, just a little bit here.
A period of time where we've gotten the fuck off, the planet, and you even a lot of things that you can have a fucking chase. You can have oh shit, we're under attack. You can start your movie that way. You don't need to follow it it's to the second from the movie beforehand.
No, because it causes problems. But it's like I can start this movie off fine. So we started off the exact same way. Hux shows up. I'm going to make Hux more competent because frankly, they made him so shitty. The only way they could save him was to do what they did in the last movie. By the way, didn't watch it, read the leaks, thought it was shit, not watching it.
I'm the spy.
I'm like, it's the only way you could make him not shit. It's like, this is literally your last option is to have him turn traitor. Because you used him as a fucking punching bag in the last movie.
But I'm sorry, if you're writing, right, if you're like, we're going to reveal the spy by having the spy announce, I am the spy, and you can't figure out why that writing is not exactly fucking stellar, like, who are these people?
You're not TF2.
It's like a hyper, like the whole movie is like a, you know, those AIs that try to like, it's like an AI trying to tell.
It feels like an approximation.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like real life.
It feels like an AI is trying to write a parody of Star Wars, is what it feels like. It's not doing it right. You're like, this sounds like it should work, but it fucking doesn't. I think J.S. Birds and More says, I want more Y-Wings. I think you can agree with that.
You have excellent taste in bombers, so thank you.
And Batman says, R2 could fly something he never did again. That was actually the most grotesquely overpowered character of the prequels was definitely R2.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because it was not for the sake of humor.
Yeah.
Which... the droids are there for jokes. Why I'm a little more willing to forgive the stupidity coming out of them.
They are the comedy relief duo.
It's a genre thing. I get it. It's dumb, but I'll forgive this.
But even within the original trilogy, they definitely cut that back the further you get, because they separate them in Empire, and then in Jedi they have a couple one-liners, and that's it.
Yeah, I think
C-3PO definitely takes more of a prominent role in Return of the Jedi than R2-D2.
Absolutely, obviously he's impersonating a deity is against my program to impersonate a deity. As Pudding Tang 2 points out, he's right there. What a great name. Says, so didn't episode 8 take place in 8 hours, and episode 9 was 16 hours, 24 hours total? That's a great point. I haven't thought of either.
It's something. Well, not the whole. Wait, was that again 8 and 9?
Episode 8 was like 8 hours or something. I'm like, I think that's right.
Well, they tell you how long we have. That's what ruins movies though, like that, because all this crazy shit happens. Like with the first Star Wars, it's days. Empire, we don't know. And
that's another thing with the way episode 9 starts. So one of the things right at the beginning is there's this montage of Kylo Ren, running through the forest to eventually find Palpatine. Which is like, we don't really need to see, like, that was such an extraneous thing. Like, just show him finding, you can tell us in the beginning he's been using the Wayfinder to try to find this place, and then we cut to he found it. That's the whole point.
The whole opening of the movie is really poorly done, especially the crawl. That is the worst crawl. The dead speak. That's the opening line.
I don't know which crawl is worse, that one or the Last Jedi one.
I don't remember how.
The Last Jedi one.
Like an awful opening right there, because that's not how a Star Wars opening crawl starts.
I made an entire
a fantasy novel, which is a fine start to a fantasy novel. The dead speak, but it's like
right, but like this is not. Yeah, I made an entire 7.5 minute video dedicated to how stupid the Last Jedi opening crawl was.
The crawl wasn't that great either. It didn't really get you're starting immediately after the last movie, so the crawl is an exposition dump that's not intrusive.
It's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. You looking at the crawl?
Yeah.
It's completely irrelevant. I picked this all apart in that video. It's entirely irrelevant. It uses, so one of the beautiful things about the original opening crawl, and even in the prequel crawl too, it doesn't make these, it's a fact sheet, it's like, we're setting the stage, for you to dive in, and our story will tell the rest of the fucking story. But in these ones, it's like, let's tell you this is our setup to tell you what to think and how to feel about this. Because it's all like, our heroes and our bravely do this thing, and can they succeed? And I don't know. It's like, stop telling me what to feel about these characters. Just fucking tell me what they're doing. Tell me what's happened in the dead space between these movies. All right, there is none. The opening crawl should just be like 10 minutes later.
I think episode 3 starts with a pretty good one, though. War.
The
Republic is crumbling under attacks by the ruthless Sith Lord Count Dooku. Right there, 2 sentences sounds pretty fucking cool.
It's big, it's epic. Yeah, the whole war thing is a little kitschy,
honestly,
sure.
But every one, I'm going to read the first sentence of each one. Look, turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. That's a cool opening sentence. But George Lucas shits the bed with the taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute.
And you're like, what?
That whole scenario is fascinating, though, if you actually read it.
Oh, sure. I think it's great. Does it belong in a movie that's all audiences movie that a lot of kids are going to want to go see?
Maybe you should have just. I fully said it because I ran a game where that was like super prominent.
Yeah.
Like my players fucked the whole thing up. Like the Jedi never got involved in the war because of this. They were friends with Newt Gunray and shit because they're like, you have a valid argument for being pissed off about this because you're like, hey, we're in a free tax zone because you fuckers won't pay for security. Cool. Yeah. And then you guys get pissy because I put guns on my ship because you fuckers don't pay for security. So I agreed to pay taxes for security, and then I pay taxes, and you fuckers don't give me security, so fuck you, I'm not going to get rid of my battle droids.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is actually a fascinating political situation you set up. I love it. And then we go nowhere with it in the movie, so I'm like, well, this is fucking waste.
Yeah, exactly. You're like
you should have just kind of went full into it. Just like, screw it. We're aiming for teenagers and up. It's like, well, teenagers won't care about that. I don't know. I think you're underselling teenagers on.
Sure.
Like, this is an interesting setup here. Like, there's a whole lot of politics shit going on.
You
like,
could engage them. And if you keep it spinny shiny enough, you'll have a bunch of kids who watch and they won't understand any of it, but they'll be like, "That was cool anyway." You know,
it's not like you don't have to get rid of the pod race. It stays fine. Like the Phantom Menace structurally is okay. It's just paced very poorly.
Yes,
especially at the end, the last couple of battles.
Yeah.
I will say though, the opening to Episode 7's crawl is cool. The first line is Luke Skywalker has vanished.
You're like, whoa, picked interest. In his absence, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire. What? That doesn't make any sense. Also, that's apparently not true because it's not. They're totally separate from the Empire, but like not really in a weird way.
Well, the thing is, like, this actually has promise. Like, this could be really cool. This opening 2 sentences,
sure,
but they don't do anything with it.
It will not rest until Skywalker, the Last Jedi, has been destroyed. Oh wow! Look, they just stole the title for the next movie from the fucking opening crawl of the first movie.
Yeah, look at this one though. For the First Order reigns, having decimated the peaceful Republic. See, that's stupid because the movie takes place minutes after the other one, right? The other one ends.
They owned the galaxy in 3 hours.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What? And then you look at the actual map in the expanded universe. No, they don't. They barely control anything. The whole fucking map, the New Republic has like this.
They're a fringe.
They're like a tenth of the old Republic. They're
exactly.
tiny fuck.
They're a fringe group. They're basically, the Union won the Civil War, and these are the guys, not even the people who are like, man, I still believe in the Confederacy. These are the guys who like ran off into the hills with their personal militia, and they're like, one day we're coming back. These are those guys. How much actual influence do they have in our society?
Yeah, but see, they did it right though with the Mandalorian because we do see the remnants of the Empire and that kind of shit. The running for the hills actually has power, but they lose that, and then they try to justify the movie's existence with the TV shows, and all you're left with is a bad movie.
I would love if the Mandalorian just like retcons the First Order and is just like, yep, nope, the First Order totally is just the new name for these,
It's just the Imperial Remnant.
Exactly, it's the Imperial Remnant. They got together, they built some new rules, and they call themselves the First Order because they're reforming.
Yeah, but anyway. That's the weird thing. They're like, oh, they're connected but not connected. And I'm like, I'm reading it and I'm like, is this being done by like 4 different people and no one's talking to each other?
Right.
That's the vibes I'm getting.
So
it is the Imperial Remnant. Like, they factually state that a bunch of warlords ran off into the unknown territory. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense because you lost and you're like, fuck, I'd rather not get, all French revolutions. So I'm going to just...
peace.
Bye. I'm going to take my 6 Star Destroyers and my couple thousand stormtroopers and we're going to fucking leave.
And in the real world,
they went. And then you come back 30 years later with a Star Destroyer twice the fucking size?
Yeah. No.
Where did that come from?
Exactly. In fucking reality, your warlords get together with that little military might they have. They go to some remote place where no one can stand up to them, take over, and be little warlords of their little islands living in happy retirement. Like the Nazis going to Brazil and shit like that. So, that's what you do. You run off. You go into exile and you live happily fucking ever after someplace where you have just enough might to push people around. People like that don't turn around like, oh, let's fucking rise again. They're like, no, cut our fucking losses and get out. Oh, wait, but we have this opportunity to because the megalithic government that rules the entire galaxy just gave them all their fucking weapons for no fucking reason.
A very smart lady did something beyond dumb. It's actually funny because you basically just described the entirety of the Imperial Remnant setup afterwards before Dala shows up and starts slapping them upside the head and goes, hey, fuckers, what? We are not a bunch of infighting dumb shits. The Republic's right over there, and we're going to go fight them and get our shit back.
Yeah, because they're literally doing nothing to stop us.
No, because they're sitting there infighting and shit, and the Republic's like, great, you fuckers can sit in the deep core and do that all day. We'll just sit over here and do our thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the new canon, the New Republic is not that big. They're like a fifth of the galaxy, maybe?
Which also doesn't make any sense.
Small.
Which makes no sense. Because they're all in the... It just doesn't...
And then we get that I've now conquered the entire galaxy. Like, did the entire galaxy just roll over? Like, what's the Hapes Consortium doing? Oh, wait, they're sitting in their nebula doing this. Because you're not going in there. That's a terrible idea. Don't piss them off. Like, what are the Mandalorians doing during this time period? Are they just telling everyone to fuck off?
Maybe.
I would assume so.
I would assume they're like, we're just doing our thing. We're doing our own business. You guys, just stay over there.
Away with ye. I don't want to deal with you.
Stay over there.
The reason I pulled up this thing is Lucas knew how to do an opening crawl. Brian De Palma wrote the opening crawl to Star Wars, not George Lucas. His was so bad that Brian De Palma went and wrote it for him.
Well,
she is many things. A solid director, a decent producer, but he's a terrible editor. His wife saved that movie.
Yeah.
She did an excellent job, and we're like, thank you, George. And he's fine. Like, the dude's got good ideas. It's like, someone's got to put a leash on him and just kind of drag him back. Just, George, ease it back a little, buddy. Ease it back.
Very curious. But he had a Rick McCallum in the prequels, and it's just a yes man.
I'm with that. Yeah,
that's what all Hollywood is now. It's just yes men.
And that's why it's gone to the shits. But it's good when people challenge it. I was just talking about this on the stream just before we had you on, about one of the beautiful things about the Phantom Menace and why it's so good is because the people in it challenge each other. Like, we don't just roll over for each other. We have debates. We have arguments. We don't all agree on the same topics. We enjoy challenging each other in those ways. Is it raining out?
No, it's just the.
I mean, we all agree on The Last Jedi sucking, but that's kind of a universal.
That's our great unifier.
It's just a bad movie.
It really is.
It's so sad.
Jun Wong says Jesse has experience being an evil despot.
Every day, I live here.
Yeah, as for cats.
You're a very good movie.
Yes, I lord over my cats who are napping adorably with each other.
Yeah.
Perfect example in The Last Jedi of an idea that could be good, but the way you did it was dumb as hell, is the chase sequence. Okay, so you want to have this sequence of a bunch of ships pursuing the rebels. Okay, the space gas thing, I don't know why ships that big are using actual external fuel.
Right, you're like,
our aircraft carriers don't do that. On Earth, right now, an aircraft carrier is just going around the globe with a nuclear generator on it. Yes, it needs to refuel, technically speaking, but probably not in my lifetime. So it's like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. So it's like the small ships, sure, like Falcon size and down.
Yeah.
You know, things that land on planets and get hooked up to power generators and shit. Sure, fine. I don't have a problem with that. So we're going to write that out because my entire thing was, okay, they're being tracked. Simple solution here is they're going to shoot a weird energy pulse at them, and that's going to quantumly link them to a particle back on the ship. That's how they're tracing them now. So you can't take the thing off except by taking off all these hull pieces.
Yeah.
Which realistically you can't do, and there's no way it's going to happen. So now they're just tracking you permanently, and you're just kind of fucked. So the Rebels' solution is, well, fuck, they're following us. Okay, great. We're going to go and dive into this crazy ionic nebula. So our shields are strong enough that we can hide in this now. Well, the Imperials are like, well, fuck, we can't go in there because A, our sensors are shit and we can't see through that. And B, our shields aren't that good, so it's going to fuck us up. The Rebels are like, all right, we're sitting here. Now we need to buy time. We need a solution here. And now we can go send Finn and Rose off on their mission. But now it's a sanctioned mission, and they're going to go do something constructive with their time.
As opposed to run around a casino and go, ooh, look, freaking horses.
And whatever happened to the meetup guy? Remember the guy with the red rose they were supposed to meet up? Like, how convenient of a bad plot point. Remember they were supposed to meet him. He had the shit they needed, but it's convenient that
some other dude just also happened to have the same information.
That was dumb as shit. It's like, no, we're just going to go. And that would be the place you'd put Lando. Because the moment they said it, I'm like, it's going to be Lando.
Cool. Lando.
That makes sense.
Fucking Lando. It would have made so much sense for Lando.
Lando is a guy who knows a lot of stuff. This is his thing. This is what Lando does.
And you can
why would you not be Lando?
Yeah.
He was so misused in The Rise of Skywalker.
Because you can also totally see Lando being the guy who's like, I learned how to thrive in this new, system, even though I'm still loyal to the rebellion and will feed them information and whatnot, but I'm kind of doing my own thing and profiting off of it nonetheless.
That's what Lando always did. Like I swear to God, every single novel, Lando had a new business he was doing because he'd have it for like 3 years, sell it, go do something else. Build it up, get super rich, sell it, go do something. It's like, okay, Lando, we get it. You can do literally everything.
Lando's Donald Trump, but actually good at business.
It's like the man's just going to sit there and just go and do everything. It was crazy. I love watching him do that because he just gets thrown into really weird stuff. But it's like you're going to a casino to go find a computer specialist, and you didn't use Lando for this. Why? I think everyone, when they heard that line, was going, "Oh, it's Lando, cool."
Oh, but Rian Johnson purely exists to subvert your expectations.
Oh God, I've never seen any of his other stuff, so I don't know if it's just he was like super pissed off at JJ for just handing him basically nothing.
Yeah.
Because I heard a theory about that. There was a guy I was watching. He was like, we give Rian Johnson a lot of shit, deservedly so. But we need to give JJ more shit here because, he handed this a whole fuckload of plot lines, but there's nothing there. We could fix the plot lines. We can go screw around with it, but we know Star Wars. JJ or Art Johnson's like,
doesn't give a shit about Star Wars.
He's like, okay, I'm here to do Star Wars. What am I doing? Well, here's all the plot lines. Okay, you give me a shitload of string. What the fuck do I do with this?
So basically what he did do is he rewatched the original trilogy, he rewatched the prequel trilogy, and he rewatched a bunch of other random fantasy things and just stole bits and pieces, you know? The post-miniseries first episode of Battlestar Galactica was a very slow space chase. That was executed in a cool way, because it was like X number of minutes or whatever it was, and every cycle of those minutes, the ship showed up and was shooting at them. And I can't remember the justification for it because it's been forever. But that was like, oh, okay, there. Like, let's just drop some Harry Potter. Kids love Harry Potter. Let's just pull some fucking Harry Potter bullshit into here, which they did extensively as well. Let's throw some Lord of the Rings in here, because who doesn't love Lord of the Rings? Let's just mishmash like bits and pieces. Let's pick and choose. We'll just take the Empire Strikes Back and the Last Jedi or in the Return of the Jedi, make it one movie, and then just throw bits of everything else in here. It'll be great. It'll be totally fine. No one will ever know.
I almost wonder if he was just pissed off and just went, fuck it, I don't care. I will make something I know the executives are fine with, but I don't give enough of a shit to try any harder than that.
I see that. The thing is I would buy that too, but I'm not sure that was the attitude coming in. I do want to read this super chat from Pudding Tang 2. Thank you for the super chat. You familiar with the Thrawn novels? Looking forward to the new one in October. I'm familiar with them. I haven't read them, but I've heard about them. I've heard they're
amazing.
Really good.
He's
I know
one of the best villains ever.
I've definitely heard, and I've definitely I know some of the plot.
But I haven't read them. Just like most books.
But I heard there was a new one coming out, and I think that's very exciting. So.
And they're still good, which is nice because it's the same author, so Thrawn is not being fucked with. It's just the guy's writing more Thrawn stuff,
which is
I'm
cool.
totally okay with. I haven't read the new ones, but I heard they're still good, so that makes me happy.
And Laura Story is here, who's back has been lurking about, but is now actually speaking to us again. So we love it. We're 1 like away from 100. So do what she says and show some love to the like button.
Click the damn button.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Click the damn button. Yeah, The Last Jedi to me was just such a train wreck. And then we get to the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, you've just stopped pretending to not be Dark Empire now. Because you're just Dark Empire at this point.
Yeah.
A terrible, terrible copy of Dark Empire. And Dark Empire wasn't that great to begin with. I did not read the comics because they're like impossible to find.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they were never reprinted in a hardback other than they weren't that great. But it's like, I kind of want to read them anyway. But most fans like these were not good. But at the same time, I would rather have watched Dark Empire than the totally not Dark Empire.
No, I read that book and listened to the audio version. Billy D. Williams does the voice of Lando in it, which is nice. The story's fine. I mean, it's like the Return of the Jedi of like E, where it's like it's got some good moments and it's just at the same time.
I like Return of the Jedi.
There's some really weird stuff. Like I personally love the super weapon in there because it's like this is a super weapon that makes sense. The Imperial Remnant has.
Yeah,
it's called the Galaxy Gun, and it's this giant space station that has effectively interstellar missiles on it.
Yeah.
Like, this is an intelligent way that you're going to weaponize FTL. Because I'm not actually weaponizing FTL. I am just literally making a giant warhead, and I am putting a hyperdrive on the missile, and then I need a giant space station to use it. This is why no one has it. The space station's fucking huge. So it's really expensive. The warheads are extremely specialized that you can't use for anything else. And then you have to keep paying for hyperdrives.
Yeah.
Most people can just keep paying for hyperdrives. That's not expensive, but it's like, yeah, I've got this giant thing now and I'm going to start blowing shit up. It's like, that's actually cool. And then Starkiller Base is a really, really inefficient version of that.
It's just the Death Star and Hoth fucked and made a weird love child.
Yeah, I'm going to eat a sun to shoot a laser at you that the laser somehow goes faster than the speed of light, which makes no fucking sense because it's a laser.
Literally made of light.
We'll ignore that. At this point, I'm going, why don't you just fly into the fucking system in the giant planet and eat their sun?
Right.
Why is there a laser?
Why do you even need the laser? What's the point? Kill them all right there. Bam, done.
It's the Sun Crusher. It's like the Sun Crusher does this. I shoot a little plasma torpedo thingy into the sun and it goes boom.
Your sun is by, and then your solar system is fucked. The end.
Great. So. Wonderful. I love that Superwoman. It was really stupid, but I loved it because it's like, I'm this dinky little thing the size of an X-Wing and I blow up stars. It's like, that's bullshit. That is complete bullshit. I love it, but it's utter bullshit.
Yes, it is. Laura Story. I feel Laura Story's pain with her cat waking up at 5 a.m.
Well, we go to bed at 5 a.m.
It's true. But our fucking cat always decides, it's like, oh, you're nice and asleep now? That's great. Now is the time I'm going to knock shit down until you wake the fuck up. He's the worst.
My dog sort of does that, but she more starts whining at like 7:30 if I'm like my days off.
I can live with
I make sure to let her out right before I go to bed.
I can live with something like that. My problem is that Shit Pancake breaks and loses our stuff like crazy, which is not okay. Not okay.
Yeah, Shit Pancake.
I did want to jump back onto what you were saying before about the setup, because a lot of people, I talked to a lot of people who are so willing to give JJ that pass on The Force Awakens. Well, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that
good
bad.
either.
It wasn't that good either. And the whole thing, and this is the whole problem, it didn't caretake the rest of the damn trilogy. When you make just a carbon copy of the original movie, you can't just do that for all three movies. That's not going to work. It barely worked for the first one. You know, it got everyone hooked in on the nostalgia. But I think if that had been released sort of ahead of time, of like, oh yeah, if they had advertised it, let's say, as a reboot, you know, or a remake, like experience the original adventure with new characters through new eyes, whatever. They marketed it truthfully for what it was, which is just a cheap remake with new characters. I think people would have seen through it and they would have looked past all that, you know, nostalgia, all the hype and whatnot, and gone, this is bullshit. I did not need to waste this much money and this much time in my life to just watch an inferior version of this far better movie. And then you have the curating of taking care of the actual trilogy itself, where you set up nothing, like you said, nothing for the next writer to go off of, absolutely nothing. All these little ideas and things here. The one, which is what kills me though, and is why I think that Rian Johnson definitely, whoever he was saying fuck you to, was an active choice. Because he takes the one thing that I think was clearly hinted at, which was Rey's lineage, and just shits on that, takes a dump on that, which they obviously, you know, JJ went back and retconned afterwards. It's just like this whole fucking clusterfuck. This trilogy is just the squabble between a few different, you know, producers, directors, writers, executives who all want their way in Star Wars, and none of them has a
They needed a Kevin
idea.
Feige. Look, at MCU's dead, as far as I'm concerned, but at least they had a unified vision for 8 years.
But Feige is a creative.
Or not 8 years, 12 years.
Feige has a creative mind for that. He has that. He has the mind.
That's impressive in and of itself to go for a fucking decade and have what, 2 screw ups? There's only like 2 movies I would actively call bad.
Which ones?
And, the first Hulk movie, which is the only one we got, that was deeply flawed. And most people consider Thor 2 to be bad. I consider it fine, with a terribly underutilized villain mostly.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun movie. It's just not a very good movie. I never saw Captain Marvel just because I'm like, Brie Larson looks like I'm watching a board half the fucking movie. So
you would have added a third one in there, because that, to me, that's the only one that I won't go back and watch, because it doesn't add anything to the bigger picture.
There's nothing in it.
At least Hulk adds to the bigger picture.
It came also in at a really weird time, because it's like, okay, it's a mediocre film. Let's just go with that. We'll put it like with Thor 2. But Thor 2 was like fucking a decade ago, so we're willing to forgive it because it's like, what, movie 5?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't need to do anything. It's just, here it is. This is Thor doing things.
I'd watch Thor 2 again, though. You know, it's not a great movie.
I like it.
Yeah, but
it's like you hired Eccleston to be your fucking villain, and
you wasted him. Exactly.
You didn't let him go ham? What the fuck are you doing? Let the man go ham. It's beautiful watching him do that.
Guys, Nathaniel Kadugan's here. Nathaniel used to reliably always be the first person in my chat all the effing time, and I haven't seen him in a long time. So hi, Nathaniel, and welcome back, I guess. I don't know where you've been, but welcome back.
It's a night of reunions. First Laura Story, now Nathaniel.
I know, all these people are coming back from the woodwork. They're still alive. It's great to see. And this, because Hawkticus and I talked a long time ago, And
Oh God.
yeah, forever ago. Because you were on a live stream way back when one time, right?
No, I think it was just a Patreon chat.
Or maybe a Patreon chat, whatever
I
it
was
was.
chilling in that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was fucking. That was before. I think it was before TLJ. Like fuck.
It can have been because I didn't have a Patreon until that.
Oh, that was after that. Yeah, no, I thought you had the Patreon right after the Force Awakens.
Shortly thereafter. Nope, not till because I
TLJ then, yeah.
started YouTube until TLJ. Actually, I was sort of dabbling in YouTube, not considering talking Star Wars at all. Before I did have my Meant to Offend series. I did one Star Wars video in my Meant to Offend series in April after The Force Awakens came out. I did The Force Awakens is worse than all of the prequels video. And I stand for that statement.
I agree.
Episode 7 it's weird because The Last Jedi was just so obviously flawed and had massive monstrous issues that we sort of, I was watching a video, a guy pointed out, episode 7's got almost as many. They're just not all in giant screen grabbing moments. They're just smaller. Like the one with Rey's flashback to when the shuttle's flying away with her parents. Who's the person holding her hand in that one?
I had that question as well. Like,
we have the answer. It's the guy she was going to sell BB-8 to. So why is she acting like she barely knows him?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Like, even if you don't like each other, there should be a something.
There's some
There should be like a more reaction than you're my boss that I see every 2 fucking weeks.
It should be like Watto and Anakin.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
There should be some familiarity, even if there's not any lover.
Because even he kind of throws a little shade at Anakin, throws a little shade at Watto, and he just kind of lets it go. Because he works with him every day.
Watto actually liked Anakin. It's kind of funny. You find it out in the EU. He's like, he actually liked Annie.
Yeah.
That kind of reads though in the movie.
You can kind of see it. There's a fondness to him. He is, he's this hardened guy who's like, you're my property and whatnot. But there's a certain fondness for him.
It's like, I'm not gonna be a giant dick because
he looked out for him slightly, especially with the Sebulba shit.
Oh yeah. Nathaniel Cadogan has been so busy. Life's been all over the damn place. How are you? I've been doing well. I got this guy lives with me now. It's wonderful. And life's been busy too. Not all over that many places. I mean, metaphorically speaking, but obviously we're all stuck in place. We got a lovely super chat from Chris Canmore. Says, "Here's some money. Love you guys. Be excellent to each other. We will. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Boom.
We will.
Thank you for that incredible super chat. Appreciate it so much. We'll let that sit up there for a little bit.
Yeah. I just looked at The Force Awakens and I'm like, okay, this is fine. There's enough of a setup here. So I got to the end of the movie and I'm like, okay, we're basically set off in the same area. The first, I thought we were going to have a giant war for the rest of the movie. That's kind of what it seemed like. Oh, fuck, the capital's gone. Whoops, that's bad. And then I'm like, great, we're going to have big fleet fights. We're going to have 2 actual powers. I'm like, I figured it'd be the prequels.
Yeah.
That was kind of the setup I thought we were going for. And then immediately The Last Jedi, oh, look, we conquered the entire galaxy. And I'm like, Blitzkrieg. Okay, whatever. We blitzkrieged it. And then we get back to Luke and Rey. And I'm like, it's been 5 fucking minutes.
Right?
It's been literally 5 fucking minutes. Okay, I'll give you some leeway. Maybe her hyperspace trip took a couple days. Like a week. It's been a fucking week. Do you people understand how war works?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, the time skip between episode fucking 4 and 5 is what? 6 months? No, it's more than that. It's fucking a year or 2.
It's 3 years.
Is that what it is now? It's a jump. It's not a little jump. It's a big fucking jump.
Well, no, the longest jump is 1 to 2. It's 10 years.
Right. Yeah, but it's that. And then it's that one.
And then episode 5 and 6 is just a year. Luke Han Solo was frozen for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so they're trying to bounce around to find out.
It gives you enough time to, if you want to write stories in between 4 and 5, you have tons of time because you have all your heroes available.
Which is, by the way, a total missed opportunity from Disney. With like, you want your spin-off stuff, here it is.
That's what they really, if they were going to do the whole, we're going to CGI actors' faces, we're going to do all this weird shit, we're going to milk you nostalgic land, make something between 4 and 5 and just make sure your characters come out alive at the end and you have pretty much carte blanche to do whatever you want with that window.
Exactly.
And
the missed opportunity is to just go reference fucking.
I wouldn't even say take away Rogue One, take away Solo. We didn't need the story of how Han Falcon. You could have had Han, Luke, Leia on a fucking mission,
sure,
in uncharted space.
You could have a little miniseries
and
about
there you
it.
go.
That'd be great. It'd be super fun.
fucking Solo was. I don't even need to go into the plot because we don't have to. I'm going to go with Nostalgia Critic's reference to it. He thought it was bad because he couldn't tell what was going on half the fucking time. He's like, the whole movie's just brown. Like,
it was an ugly film.
Brown and grainy.
Are we on
for no reason?
Solo. Yeah, that movie.
Like, who the fuck was in charge of the color correction here?
Somebody.
It's like super brown. Like the scene where he's gambling with Lando. Sure, makes sense. We're in a smoky back room gambling. Cool.
No, but you're right. That's one of those weird ones where you're like, the color profile on this is uncomfortable for no apparent reason.
I can't see shit.
And yeah,
I saw the fight sequences in there, and I'm like, I can't see anything. I was watching the firefights, and I'm like, someone went crazy with the fog machine. Somebody threw some dust around, and then somebody darkened the movie on top of all of this. I can't see shit, guys.
It's to cover for the lack of specificity, and that's what all this is. It's like, I don't understand in a world. Sorry, I'm really hungry.
Fine.
In a world where you have such rich detail, where you have such rich precedents in written form, in visual form, in every possible way you could want it. How are you so sloppy and so lazy with the details when you have the money, all the money in the world to create, as evidenced by Solo, by the money they fucking dumped into that trash heap
twice.
Exactly, all the money in the world to put this thing together. How do you not come up with something coherent, cohesive, and fucking logical? How?
I'm not going to completely shit on Solo because I'm like,
I will.
I realize some of the shit that happened behind the scenes, and I'm like, okay, this is not entirely your guys' fault. I understand some shit happened.
No.
Right? You had to pull in another director who did his damnedest to unfuck whatever god-awful mess was in here. You basically doubled the budget to try to fix this. I get it. At the same time, I don't even know why you tried to do it in the first place. And can I please ask, why the fuck did you bring Maul back? He was done. He was done. He had this little moment in Clone Wars, which I think was a nice nod to the comics there. I was like, fine. I agree it was gratuitous, but he's already canonically back anyway, so fuck it. Let's bring him back in the cartoon. And then Rebels did it. I liked what they did with him in Rebels. I liked him in Rebels. He was good in Rebels. I'm like, that was a nice send-off end moment.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we're done there.
And we addressed the whole, him being an underutilized villain and all that stuff. So we were good. We don't fucking need him.
I liked what Darth Maul represented, though. He was essentially Obi-Wan's trial. That's it.
Yeah. I dig that. I like that element of him too. I like that.
I was fine with that too. I'm just like, if you're gonna bring him back, I'm glad you at least. You didn't just bring him back for, hey, it's Maul points. Like, no, we actually did something in Clone Wars. Like, he was actually an antagonist for a while. Like,
I think the reason people get mad about the Darth Maul stuff, though, is because he was the focal point of the entire marketing campaign. He was the face on the toys. It was that lightsaber was the trailer. Like, everything was Darth Maul, and then nothing.
Yeah.
But I still do like him.
I think they knew what they had visually. Hey, it's better than Therm's Scissor Punch being your flagship toy when he's not even actually
if we could go
called
back
by name in the damn movie.
Well, if we go back, when you had the Lucas era stuff, they were able to build up an aura around like Jango Fett. You're like, oh my god, this looks like Boba Fett. Oh, it's his father. What? And he built up each movie's unique villain. What the sequel trilogy did was keep a main villain through the entire thread, and still failed. He's so weak. Trying to make, I hate to say it, but Star Wars in many ways is a series of cliches.
Yeah,
Put together just a cliched bad guy that's cool, and people buy into it. Because Darth Vader does have depth and layers, but if you look at him from the first movie, he's just a blunt instrument.
I don't even think cliche is the right word for it. I think Star Wars is correctly, and that's part of its timelessness, is built on tropes.
Okay, tropes.
It's built on tropes. It's built on the expected epic journey. It's built on a formula that does work. And the whole thing that makes the formula work is not Rian Johnson, let me subvert it by snapping it in half. The whole way subversion works or creating something new works, how you get something new out of this existing thing, is you understand this path and you make executive decision, thought out decisions as to when and where you stray from it, and how that is either going to loop back into the expected path, or how it's going to turn that expected trope on its head to make some sort of comment on it, or just take you in a new direction in an unexpected way. This whole subversion for the sake of subversion, this whole fuck you because I feel like it, with no rhyme or reason, no purpose, nothing added to the story, it's just childishness.
I mean, we're also talking, Vader is very cliche now. just gotta remember, 40 years ago, yeah, less so. Significantly less so. So it's like, Lucas could get away with this. And Star Wars can keep doing it because we're like, well, this started 40 years ago.
Yeah.
They get some leeway here. And even then, they do interesting shit with it. Like, it's the hero's journey. Yeah, we've all seen it a million times, but who cares? This was great. There's weird space powers and cool-looking starships. Yes, it's World War II in space. We all know. It's fine. It's the Pacific Theater in space. We get it.
Yeah.
But it worked. And that's why the bombing thing doesn't work in The Last Jedi.
Because that's the whole thing. But that's exactly what you're talking about. The bombing thing is just that. That's exactly what you're talking about. You take two recognizable existing things. Okay, the Pacific Theater. We've made 1,000,001 movies about this. We all know the story. We learned about it in history class. Fascinating, part of the war. And then we have the hero's journey, which if you have any classical, learning, any literature learning, you've come across this, any storytelling background and whatnot, you've come across this in some way. You've experienced this in some way, even as a child. I know we actually had a kids version of the Odyssey that my dad would read to us as children. So I'm very versed in the hero's journey from that alone. I still remember a random tangent. There's a part at the end when he finally comes back home and his dog has been close to starvation because he's been mistreated or whatever it is, and finally sees his master and can die in peace. And so there's this picture of the starving dog on the page in the picture book. My sister and I would take a piece of dog food and put it over his mouth and be like, here, you can have it so you don't have to die of starvation. But anyway, I digress.
The whole thing's got a fun point there. How can one bomb without gravity? A, it's microgravity, and B, it is a magnetic rail.
So
they do fix that particular issue and the weirdness. So it's like, thank you.
Yeah,
it
helps, but not enough. We'll dive into the bombers in just a second. I want to let you really go off on that, really dig into that. But the world's slowest moving bombers of all time. The last thing I wanted to say is just you take something that's expected, two things that are familiar, the hero's journey and the Pacific Theater, and then you put them together and you add space. So you combine two things and you add another variable that's less that we haven't seen before, and now you have something new. It's the whole thing is like, it's like building molecules. You take all these smaller pieces that and you put them together and you make something brand new out of it. And that's what storytelling is. It's taking the pieces. There's a finite number of stories. Everyone knows Joseph Campbell and all that stuff. And the beauty in creation is finding new ways to plug those pieces in together. And that's not what's happening right now in filming. It's certainly what happened in Star Wars. In Star Wars, it's like, how do we just retell, revamp, pare things down to their simplest parts so we don't have to do any work? And it's maddening. All right. So, Hawkticus, why don't you tell us everything that's wrong with the bombers in The Last Jedi?
Oh, this will be fun. I've got a video on this one, so I'm just going to go over it anyway, because fuck it. You guys can go watch it if you want to see the other version of this. But Tyler Preston's got an interesting point there. If they're magnetic, why don't they stick to the bomb? They're not. The rail is magnetic, and it's pushing them down because they're angling the magnetic field to shove them down, which gives them a little bit of force. But let's get into this. Okay, first things first. Issue with this bomber. It's slow as fuck. In universe, I'm not even going with the screen checking thing that someone did where it's slower than an actual plane, which is horrible. It's slow in universe.
Yeah.
Like, horrifically slow. Because I'm watching that and I'm going, this is bad. Secondly, I have no idea why they were using A-Wings as escorts. An A-Wing is an interceptor. You have a Y-Wing. You have an X-Wing. Hi! You have the fucking X-Wing sitting there.
Yeah. The best choice.
Use it, you idiots. I don't know what you're doing. I did like that Poe had a slam system, though. That was fun. I don't know why it was on an X-Wing, but he had one. That's the Space Nos everyone was making fun of. I went, that's a slam system. Thank you. That belongs on this beauty right here. This is called a K-Wing. There we go. This is a K-Wing.
That's pretty.
This is a good bomber. This replaced the Y-Wing. Made by the same company. Well, actually, it's more of it replaced the B-Wing. But, so we're going down that progress here. So we get an interceptor escorting a bomber while the all-purpose fighters was launching missiles too expensive. I honestly have no idea what they're doing because bombers in Star Wars are typically torpedo bombers.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They shoot them
forward. They shoot torpedo forward. We've never seen this before. Like, let's give you something new. The reason we haven't seen this before is because it's fucking dumb.
Yeah. And the only time you see a bomb get dropped is out of a TIE bomber. And that's it's still a proton bomb.
Yeah.
And they can still project those forward. I mean, the difference between a proton bomb and a proton torpedo is one is self-propelling, and then they just turn. I think they literally just turn off the propulsion and drop it.
That makes sense. That works.
And that's actually what they do. Like in Empire at War, when you want to bomb something, Y-wings fly on over and they dive bomb it.
Yeah.
Neat. Thank you. That's really all I wanted here. And then you get, so there's the bomber. Here's the size difference, roughly. I'm going to roughly approximate this because I don't have an actual model because I didn't care. It didn't have any cards I wanted. It's about this size difference.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little less. It's close enough for an approximation here. So this thing is huge, by the way. Like, that is monstrous. Because the K-wing is significantly small. Like, it's bigger than the entire thing's wingspan. It has, arguably one of the fastest ships guarding the slowest. Thank you. That is exactly what's happening. A-wings are stupidly fast. And these are advanced A-wings. I don't know why we're not using E-wings at this point. But again, whatever. We're going to keep... For a company that wants to sell new models, you keep using the old shit, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Make new models. Sell them. I will buy them because I think E-wings are neat. Anyway, you get the MG-100, which should have been called the T-wing. It was supposed to be called the T-wing, and they didn't. A mystery that no one will ever be able to answer because everything's named after a letter for the ship. So why the fuck didn't you do it on this one? So we got this behemoth with shielding probably worse than an X-wing.
Yeah.
Even if it's comparable to, like, let's say it's exactly the same shield units as an X-wing.
Yeah.
Which is like 50, I think. I don't know what they represent, but it's just a number. You have 50 on something that's
physically incapable of doing evasive maneuvers, for one thing.
20 times the size?
Yeah.
My God, like in my video, I do a quick edit to make it better. Like I don't want to sit here and just hate on the ship. And the more I've thought about them, the less I just hate them, and the more I'm just disappointed. Like I just look at them and go,
why? Why,
God? You're so close to doing something decent. Like you were this close. You're this close to doing something like good or interesting. Because okay, I'm gonna take my cam back up here. Here's the ship. There's guns here, and there's a gun back here that can flip forward.
Mm-hmm.
This whole section is a blind spot.
That's full of bombs that you can shoot at.
Wow, look at that. This isn't even difficult to stay in this. Like, what are you gonna do? Tilt slightly? Oh, excuse me, I'm just gonna do this.
Right.
Wow, look at that. Look at how much more maneuverable I am than you. Fucking wow, that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they have no shields. They're slow as balls. And who thought you needed 1,000 bombs?
Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck?
What do you need this many bombs for, people? Like, here, that's why I said, we're going to take it, and we're just going to take it from that big to the pocket knife. It's this big now. This is much better. Now it's a submarine in space, but whatever.
You can still a bunch of bombs on it, and it can go fast, have maneuverability, and a chance in hell, and possibly projectile weapons, or projectile elements, torpedoes instead of just bombs, so that you can, do things like shoot them from farther away and not have to be directly on top of the damn thing in order to hit it.
It doesn't need to be a flying Pez dispenser or a flying Tic Tac bomber.
Right? Oh my God!
Because it's what they are. They have this giant magazine they don't need to have.
They
Because you don't need that many
dispensers.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but yeah, I didn't.
They don't need that many bombs.
It's absurd. It's totally extraneous. I guess this is what you get when you fucking get rid of your entire fucking military and your resistance is to scrounge up whatever dumbass. This is probably like the decommissioned shit where someone was like, you know what, this will never work. This was a terrible idea. Like whatever that plane was. That's like the U.S. military bought it from a defense contractor, but realized by the time they're actually can finish developing and building it's going to be obsolete, but they're going to fucking do it anyway because that's what the money's there for. It's like that shit. So they made one of these, and there's what that happened in the Star Wars universe. They made these bombers. Those bombers have been sitting there doing fucking nothing. So the Resistance is like, oh shit, we need something because you got rid of all of our entire arsenal. I guess we'll use these. Whoops.
Yeah, that's something I'd be more forgiving with because some of my comments went before we knew that it was an actual official military vessel and we just had the movie to go off of.
Sure.
You had this, they're like, maybe it wasn't a military ship. And I'm like, well, if it's not, then I'm way more forgiving of this because you're just making ad hoc changes. Because I could see that being useful for, I don't know, you load it up with proton torpedoes and fly it up to ships. And then you rearm them that way at just, small stations that don't have proper space docks. Cool. The other one they suggested was it's a firefighting ship. You fill it full of a chemical and fly over and drop them.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That's not what it is. This was apparently an actual military vessel.
This was an on-purpose ship.
Basically. Yeah, they did this on purpose, and it was used for high-altitude bombing.
Oh, my God. Yep.
Why do we have high-altitude bombing when I have a starship? Like, I don't need to bomb you. I'll just park a frigate over you and shoot you.
Exactly. That doesn't...
And if I need specific bombing, I'll have an X-Wing do it, because I probably need to shoot something very specific. Or I'll get a K-Wing, or a Y-Wing, or a B-Wing, or a fighter to get in there and go do it.
Yeah.
And if they can't do it, well, then I'm just going to have to solve it some other solution, because carpet bombing is not good. Like, you're going to get blown out of the fucking sky. I don't know what you're doing here.
Is it
really?
It's not like, when you high altitude carpet bomb something, in the real world where you're flying very high so nothing can hit you. You're in fucking space. Everyone else also has spaceships. The practicality of this is gone. The whole purpose of high altitude anything is nullified when everybody else has things that fly just as high as your thing flies.
Yeah, it'd be like doing it now. There's a reason we don't carpet bomb now. We still have barrel bombs. Those get dropped. Yeah. But they get dropped by something moving stupidly fast, and it's closer. It's not even necessarily dive bombing, but it's like, bang, and then off you go. You drop one thing, maybe two things. But perfect example, when we drop a Moab, I'm dropping something that's, comparable to a small nuclear warhead on you, because I'm just going to kill everything in a couple 100-yard races, because you can go fuck yourself. And yes, you don't carpet bomb a starship.
It's
That's
just stupid. It's
stupid.
just fucking stupid. Because the whole point is like, doesn't it just have ridiculously good shields anyway? Like, and the whole point of every time we've seen, even when we've had it in the original Star Wars, they're target this part of the ship because it will take out the shield generators so that you can destroy it. Not just, we'll just throw a bunch more bombs at it.
Yeah.
And it'll work. Like, no.
The entire way bombing used to work is easiest solution here. I'm going to just grab some shit. So, my can there is the ship. They all come flying in at once, and they all shoot the same area because the deflectors are in chunks.
Yep.
If you think of the Dune movie, that's probably the easiest way to think of the shields, where they're all large and squared off and around various areas. Since the ship is very simple, simply geometrically, you can just fly in and hit one area, and that entire screen will collapse because it's been overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So you barrage it with that, and then any torpedoes that make it through will impact into the ship itself and cause massive damage. This is how X-Wings do that.
Yeah.
X-Wings can take it out by having a coordinated barrage. They'll have like half the squadron shoot once, and then the second half will shoot like 2 seconds later. So they'll all hit it really hard, detonate, drop the shields, and then the other ones can go in and smack it real hard too. This is how Y-Wings can take out Super Star Destroyers. It's very coordinated and extremely difficult, but it can be done. It's just, this is why the issue is they can fly under shields now as a problem, because
the shield.
The shields are not like this is the thing that Star Wars separated itself from Star Trek. These are the two big sci-fi IPs. Star Trek shields are around the object.
Yeah.
So, shields out here. Yep. It surrounds it in a bubble. It is a deflector shield.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, the shield is hugging you.
Yeah. It's
like KOTOR does this excellently, which is actually also an excellent subversion of Star Wars, because it still knows Star Wars and subverts it not to shit on it. It subverts it to make you question things. It's like, okay, here's the Jedi stuff. We're going to question that now. That's how you do it properly. So if you haven't played KOTOR, go play KOTOR, everybody. You should. I don't know why you wouldn't have at this point, but it's a great game. Anyway, back to my shield thing, because Dune does this too. Dune's an excellent example of these shields. The movie, it looks goofy as shit, just because terrible effects of the time. But it's literally just a shield that's sitting like a tiny bit off of your skin, and it hugs your body in the rough shape of your body.
Yeah, it's like
you look like an 8-bit human being.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how Star Wars works. Here it is, my front shield, my top shield, my left and right shields, and then my bottom shields, my rear shields. It's a box. is a literal box covering me.
Yeah.
The bigger the ship, the more angular it gets to properly cover itself. So in the Star Destroyers, it'd be, in a large arrowhead shape.
Yeah.
Because they've got the front shields just because you don't point them together. It gets weird, apparently. I've heard that. I've never seen it actually come up in any novels or anything, but that's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, you have screens, fields, and shields require different energy levels. That's very true. But the shields are in a block, is what it is. So you can hit them all at a certain angle and collapse them. Carpet bombing doesn't do that because you're going to hit like 3 different fucking sections at once because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, you're not hitting anything important.
No.
What about
that entire battle just bothers me because Hux is a fucking dumbass.
You're not hitting anything in any directed way. It's just random.
What about the shields in episode 3 though, that they just literally fly through to crash their Jedi starfighters to flip out?
But no, that's keeping oxygen in. Those are ships solely to keep atmosphere inside the ship.
But isn't the whole ship run by droids with only like 1 or 2 people on the ship? I think, isn't Palpatine the only human on that ship?
Still needs atmosphere.
Nope. Dooku's there.
Oh yeah, Dooku.
There's several Nemoidian commanders we see running around the ship.
There you go.
I agree. The hangar does not need an atmosphere. It has one. I don't know why it has one. But it has one.
Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, the Death Star has them too. We just don't see them. But the glowing ring around there, that is the atmosphere key. That's the atmospheric shield.
Yeah.
So those are designed to be flown through. Those are for that. You can bolster them, obviously, which is what they did because he shot the one on the side to make it so they could fly through. Then they were closing the door. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they kind of solved that issue. They were like, yeah, we're gonna have. I don't know why they had an atmosphere at all. Then again, it was probably just because they didn't feel like putting Anakin and Obi-Wan inside of a, put your fucking helmet and rebreather thing on, jump out, and then run over there to just take it off in 3 seconds. Like, okay, fine, I accept this for your own convenience. Whatever. If we're being smart, if it's a book, you can go ahead and do it because it's a line. Yeah. In the movie, whatever. You don't want to make the costume. We don't want to make the costume.
Prop, making the costume, obscuring Ewan McGregor's beautiful face, et cetera, So,
and especially when you're only going to wear it for a minute.
Exactly.
I don't blame you for not making it. Like, whatever. I'll forgive you. If it's Disney, no, you have all the budget in the universe, and the fact that your cantina scene has less aliens than the original trilogies pisses me off. I counted.
Oy,
they have less numerically. They have less. Percentage wise,
that's so bullshit. That's such a huge complaint for me about the sequels is how underutilized aliens are. Aliens existed in the original Star Wars universe to serve as a perfect, beautiful, pure allegory for diversity, and now people are too stupid to acknowledge that unless it's like, oh look, they put enough black people in the movie to make me happy. And that's what diversity means now, because you can't recognize that. Oh, look, here's a race of people. Here's an alien race like the Wookiees who are considered subhuman and enslaved by the Empire. Huh? What does that remind me of? Oh, I don't know. I'm too fucking stupid to know history. So
pick an example.
Yeah,
pick an example. There's plenty. Go grab anyone you want. We're not gonna just beat you over the head with it because that's dumb. We're just gonna go. Yep, they're slaves. We're just
exactly
general reference.
General reference. Like I've said this many times too. That one line in the original Cantina, we don't serve their kind here. Your droids will have to wait outside. Packs more meaning and depth into representation, diversity, different unequal rights, civil rights, etc. than anything in the sequel movies. All of that, that lip service, that shallow whatever, you don't feel that on any level whatsoever. You got some fucking SJW droid in Solo going, liberate everyone. You're like, this is dumb. This looks like parody. But you have that one little line of like, we don't serve their kind here. And you're like, I wonder how droids fit into the overall hierarchy of these people. I wonder if because of their consciousness, do they ever want more? Like all of those questions, all of that world, if you're there, if you're receptive to it, it's right there. And if you don't give a good goddamn about droid rights or what they think or how they fit into society, then you gloss right by it and you keep going with the movie. You don't have to be troubled by those things. And that's what good storytelling, good allegory is. It doesn't beat you over the head. It doesn't say you have to listen to this, you have to hear this, you have to agree with this. It's, hey, here's an idea that could just be this really simple surface thing you're seeing. And if that's all you want from it, great. That's all. You can walk away with that much. And if you want to dig deeper, there's somewhere for you to go and there's more for you to take. And that's your decision. You as the audience member get to go on this journey. That's why we interact with Star Wars and the original ones in such a different way. That's why we love it so much. That's why we're so passionate about it, because of that, because we're allowed to have the relationship with the material that makes sense for us. We all have different relationships with the characters, with the story, with the things we love about them, with the things we don't love about them. And that's not allowed anymore. There's one narrative, there's one opinion, there's one reaction, and there's no nuance. You either are 100% totally on board and super woke and yes queen, or you're a fucking racist, and that's it.
And the thing is, that's a throwaway line in the movie. Just, it's there.
It is.
It's there. It's over in about 5 seconds.
Exactly. Not even.
Off you go. And I'm like, okay, there we go. Neat. And it makes sense if you start poking around in it, because as someone in the chat pointed it out, the Clone Wars happened 2 decades ago. Everyone remembers all the damn droids running around. And you keep going back, and you dig back far enough. They had a Terminator moment. This is why droids in Star Wars are the way they are, and the expanded knowledge just kept building off of it to be like, okay, we need a reason why droids are treated this way that doesn't make everyone feel like shit, because we don't want that. Yep. And the reason is Skynet happened. The droids literally tried to kill everybody, and they went, nope, fuck you.
Oops, off switch. Our off switch actually works. Hooray!
No, we're not doing that. Fuck you. Fuck you. We're done. Done. And now droids can't be copied. You cannot just Control-C R2-D2.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
You can transfer R2-D2. You can put him into a new body, but you cannot copy him. Every droid is black boxed. This is why IG-88 is terrifying, because there's 4 of him. He was a weird one, but yeah, he went on a murder spree. And he was actually in control of the Death Star for about 30 seconds before the second one blew up. That was hilarious. I love that particular bit of knowledge. I am now in charge of this, and I will create a droid uprising. Dead.
Dude, whoops. That's funny. That's actually really funny. Go big or go home points at another great line. I can't abide those Jawas, disgusting creatures. A great moment to highlight ignorance and intolerance, subtle and fits the story. Again, just another throwaway line that you wouldn't necessarily put two thoughts on. But if you weren't too busy getting your panties in a wad over the fact that C-3PO is some sort of offensive gay stereotype, you'd realize that he is the bastion of chivalry, of upper class,
smug poshness.
Smug, haughty, upper class, dainty. He's
a protocol droid. You expect him to be posh.
And he actually, it's funny because he fills the same role that Simon does in Firefly, where
I didn't think about which one that
it's
was.
the whole, and it's another very relatable thing. It's the fish out of water, somebody outside of their expected environment creates a relatable creature, a relatable moment. But you also have, it's a very classist moment where you have this droid that represents that high class society making a comment on a group of people who are literally scavengers, and you're like, okay, well, Jawa's disgusting creatures, throwaway line, but then if you want to dig into it, well, how much experience does 3PO have with Jawas? What do we know about Jawas? Why do they do this? Why are they like this?
And then when we watch The Mandalorian and see them in action, we get to learn a little more. See, that to me is when you take something from decades ago and you expand upon it, you go, that's fucking cool. Because now you know the shit they do. Because all you do see in A New Hope is R2-D2 comes down the thing, they shoot him and suck him up a tube.
Yeah.
And then we don't even know how they capture C-3PO. He just saw him at a distance. Yeah. We don't know what they did to him.
Exactly. So you don't know any of that. So now you get to little, let's explore the Jawas a little more as a people. What do they do? What do they like?
I don't actually want to know any more about them.
I feel like we have enough. Perfect. I feel like we have a great amount. I feel like
all they wanted to do was fucking eat the thing. That was awesome. I thought it was like some warship. No,
they're just fucking hungry. It's just really delicious. It's like, goddamn, I'm just jonesing for the best. Like there's a Chinese food place 3 hours north of here in Lone Pine, where actually a lot of famous movies were shot, and also happens to be the jumping off point to hike Mount Whitney. And my friend and I have joked about driving 3 hours just to get that. I'm like, you know what? Hashtag relatable. I wish. Yeah. Hashtag relatable. That moment where like we want to eat the egg. Cool. I fucking would drive 3 hours right now to get that Lone Pine.
And then you understand, because it's like, New Hope. C-3PO hates Jawas. They just fucking kidnapped him a day ago.
There you go.
No shit, he doesn't like them.
Exactly.
You fuckers are assholes.
We don't have to cancel 3PO because he's fucking racist or something. It's like, no, he's had a bad experience. This is where you understand. It's like, if you want to build a side story where C-3PO learns to reconcile with the Jawas or has to help them out of some whatever, as an expansion upon that statement, fine. You can do that.
Fine. That's a terrible concept.
That is not a good concept.
C-3PO should have never went back to Tatooine in the first place.
That's true.
C-3PO doesn't like Jawas. I don't see why any droid would like Jawas. They're scavengers.
What they do, they tear droids apart. It's like you are the sworn enemy of us.
And I love Jawas, by the way, because they're fucking amazing. Because like Star Wars Galaxies and shit kind of expanded them because you hung out on Tatooine a lot. So you found out they had like clan structures and shit, and you would like run around and find out like how their religion works. It's not like super deep. You get like this nice superficial level of things, but it's really great because there's just enough. And then there's the time I played a Jawa in Star Wars Saga, and it was fucking hilarious. So I enjoy playing psychotic short people. It's great. At one point, we took over a ship. You know, just we got it, we bought it. My Jawa, he's an engineer because I'm keeping stereotypes. He comes walking in, and he just drops his toolbox and goes, "What the fuck did you idiots do?" The engineering section is a catastrophic mess. Yeah. And then he just throws everyone out of it. And just puts up a sign that says "Stay the fuck out." Fixes the whole thing. Everyone comes back in. There's wires everywhere. Like it's like wired by a gremlin because he was a gremlin. And there's a cable the size of someone's thigh just running across the floor that says "Step over" because it's charged with power, and if you step on it, you'll fry.
That sounds safe.
He didn't give a shit. He's like, I know where it is. He was very much I know where it is. I don't give a shit. And then people invade the ship, and he's running around through air ducts and Jeffries tubes and shit, just being the Viet Cong in space. Because how else is a Jawa gonna fight? I'm tiny. I got this gun, and I'm gonna sit in this air vent, and I'm gonna shoot you, and then I'm gonna run to another air vent, and I'm gonna make the ship try to kill you by doing weird wiring shit.
Which, by the way, also, anytime, and this is something I really enjoy, anytime people get all on toxic masculinity and brute strength, and this is so bad, it's glorified in their culture, and this and that. Like, anytime you have a small guy, a woman, or whatever, who is fighting using some other tactics, I'm like, right there, you're making a beautiful, actually, the movie Mulan, the Disney movie, original one, does this very well, too. You're telling a great story about exactly the opposite of what feminism is about today, with every literal complete 100% equality as the SJWs want it, and all this like perfect, we all are all the same. Fucking Harrison Bergeron, if you're too smart, have a mental handicap installed. If you're too pretty, wear a mask. Level of assimilation. But the whole beautiful part about a story like that, your Jawa, with its guerrilla tactics, is you're exploring and lauding the beauty in differences, which is something we don't do as a society anymore. No, we can't talk about differences because then we're making someone other and we're marginalizing them and this and that. It's like, no, celebrate the differences, because the point is we're not all the same. We're not all equal. We don't want to be. It's not a good thing. Let's examine how this person does something different from this other person. That's what makes it interesting. And that's why this shit isn't interesting anymore, because it's all the fucking same.
Yeah, like my Jawa wasn't that good at combat. Like he was functional at shooting, just because the way the game worked, he wasn't gonna suck at shooting. It's just, I'm sorry, the fucking Shistavanan sniper sitting over there is just going, I take a 2-action aim with all my buffs, and I'm gonna drop you 4 down the condition track, and now just something's gonna hit you, and now you're 5 down, and now you're unconscious. We're done. 2 attacks, you're dead.
Okay.
Me, I'm like, I have a gun, and it does 3d8, and it goes pew.
I'm
great. But I'm sitting there in the ship going, okay, I'm going to activate the fire suppression system with 2 wires. DM, sure. Hey, look, they're unconscious because there's no air in there anymore. Hey, look, more people. Oh, great. I'm going to plug in that wire that I have laying on the floor. Sure.
Oh, man.
I have no skills for this. I'm just rolling skill checks the whole time going, and you're dead now, and you're unconscious, and the door's locked, and now I'm venting you into space. Oh, the bridge is locked now, and there's no control because fuck you. It's like, I suck at combat, but now you're in my house.
There you go.
I activated the Claymore Roomba.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's the Claymore Roomba. Die. Yeah,
I want one.
Do that shit. Like, the perfect example of this, and an otherwise bad movie, the new Tomb Raider movie. I bought it for like $2. It's
reasonable.
Fine. It's an acceptable film. The game's better, but it's an acceptable movie. There is an amazing fight with Lara and a guy in there, and she's not that much shorter than he is. She's like a head, half a head, maybe a full head shorter, but he is clearly 80 pounds on her.
Yeah.
So she's trying to fight him by just, he picks her up and she's just like yanking around trying to yank him over and shit, because just to off balance him and just doing other crazy shit, because she's like, you are bigger and stronger than I am. I have a problem.
Yeah.
Black Widow's another perfect example of that. She's shorter than fucking everybody. How's she fighting? I'm spinning around you like some demented ferret.
Y'all got a carotid artery. If I can climb my way up to it, I can put you out. Woo!
It's what it is. It's like, oh, you're bigger than I am. Like, there's Winter Soldier. She got into that fight with that big dude, and she's like, I'm gonna rip you. Oh fuck, I can't knock you over. Shit. Wham! And I'm like, that's fair. That's fair.
And I don't want people to get their panties in a wad about things like, no, a woman doesn't have to fight the same way as a man does if he's physically stronger. We even see that trope in movies all the time with the male hero going up against the Colossus, the behemoth, Indiana Jones has that.
Yeah.
Mask of Zorro, even. We were just watching it the other night. There's the one with the really big guy that he ends up using the cannonballs.
Oh, yeah.
And how do our heroes always defeat them ultimately? Maybe. How do our heroes always end up defeating them with sometimes luck, sometimes they just get lucky, but ingenuity usually. Let's be smart. Let's think our way out of this. Because oh my god, when you have a female character, she can have a brain. She's allowed to think. She doesn't just have to be brute strength, which is the whole retarded thing. It's like, no, all our women have to be textbook toxic masculinity to take it back, and all our men have to be effeminate douchebags or clearly the enemy. And it's like, oh, just fucking kill me.
Like, I don't expect everybody to fight like James T. Kirk. James T. Kirk fights like James T. Kirk. I expect him to do the double hammer fist.
Absolutely. That's his job. That's also,
like Worf. I expect Worf in the Next Generation to do that kind of shit.
Of course.
I expect Riker to do that. If Geordi LaForge gets into a fight, I expect him to, drop and punch someone in the kidney or something because he's got a big dude.
Pull a freaking dirty move there, or tap into the computer and figure out some safeguard to shut the door behind him.
Or right behind Data and let Data just whip him through a wall.
Right, exactly.
Data just cheats because he's a robot.
He's a robot. He gets to do it.
I don't care. It's like that's how it's supposed to work. Everyone should fight differently. If everyone fights the same, it's boring as shit.
Exactly.
That might be me playing D&D kicking up. It's like I don't want 4 people playing the same class and doing the same thing. That's boring as fuck.
Of course.
And then you won't get cock blocked by the same problem.
Yes. So, guys, I want to just drop in case Hawkticus' channel link is in the description, I just want to drop it in the chat as well. So it's right there. Make sure you guys go check out his channel, subscribe. Obviously, fun dude, knows a lot about stuff. Really fun to listen to. So check out his channel, drop a sub, and check out him cutting things up in his backyard or gaming or, I
know a little about a lot.
It's a lot of fun. You've been a hell of a lot of fun to talk to. And one of the things, I think I had the same takeaway maybe the last time we talked way back too, because I think we we're fresh off Last Jedi and talking about how to fix it and stuff. It's crazy to me. Like there's so much just in the creativity and what you were describing about the game you played as this Jawa, the level of creativity and the scene you set. And I can see it so visually in this character you've built and created. Us regular people sitting around, not getting paid gajillions of dollars to create these things, come up with so much more entertaining shit than any of these, high class writers and directors and producers and whatnot. It's like, it's not that fucking hard. People act like it's the end all. It's the world's most difficult thing. There's a gajillion scripts sitting in a pile on some producer's desk that he's never going to read. Each one of which has more merit than half the films that have come out in Hollywood in the past 10 years. So it's just.
Let's point out a great one. Great example. Toph in Avatar. I don't know if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but she's blind and short as fuck, and she's a terrifying earthbender.
Love it.
Because she's basically, as long as she's barefoot, she can see. Because she's got her feet on the ground, so she can see through the ground by earthbending.
That's cool.
And I'm like, see, that's neat. It's not complicated. Do neat shit. Perfect example on a quick one. The fucking New Warriors thing. Okay, so I went off of their names and their powers, and I'm like, this is gonna suck. Here, I'm going to fix this in 5 seconds. It's gonna take me 5 fucking seconds to fix this. Mm-hmm. Screen time is going to be an autistic kid who's terrible at socializing, and therefore he's going to do all of it behind his screen in the internet. He's literally going to talk to people via weird holographic avatar shit. He will never talk to someone in person. That's it. He's just not going to talk to people. He's going to sit back. They'll socialize, just not face-to-face. Sure, that's cool. That's interesting. That's something people can relate to. Trailblazer. She is now, she sounds like a nice person. She works in an old folks' home. She's an orphan. I would assume she has issues with self-worth. Okay, fine. There's her struggle. Her struggle's internal. Everyone's struggle here is going to be internal just because it's more interesting that way.
We don't have to maybe to make her a big fat chick to make the struggle external and obvious.
Sure. We can. I don't even have an issue sticking with her being chubby. Fine, whatever. And, her part of her problem could be, she eats because she feels bad, but then it makes her feel worse. And she knows that. She's smart enough to know that, but she can't stop herself. Then she goes and gets the backpack, and now she's got like, well, fuck, I don't deserve this. Why the fuck do I have this? And it's like, well, no one else can use it. I have to use it. God damn it, why do I have this? So there's her problem. She has to go work through that issue. Great. We'll leave Snowflake alone. I actually don't even mind her name. It's only when it's compared to Safe Space that it becomes a problem.
True.
So she'll be fine. She can be She can be like one of two actual well-adjusted human beings on this team. She'll just be as a joke. She's the snarky one who enjoys dad jokes. And everyone just rolls their eyes except the vampire, who's hyper edgy as a joke. He's aware of it, and he plays up to it. Just cranks that shit to 11 because everyone thinks it's stupid.
Yep.
Snowflake thinks it's funny because now I'm going to have those two like ship off because it's funny.
So B negative.
Make dad jokes and puns all day and drive everyone nuts.
So B negative is basically like a goth hipster.
Yes, and he knows he is because he's doing it on purpose. Like he's not, oh, I'm so edgy and cool. He knows that, and then Snowflake's like, you know what you're doing? He's like, oh fuck yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is hilarious.
He's the guy who purposely walks into a coffee shop and goes, I'd like it black like my soul.
Yes. He does that unironically, and then everyone's like, really? And inside he's going, fuck yes.
He's like, I'm hilarious.
Yeah, then you get Safe Space, who I'm changing his hero name to Ward, because that's what he does. He wards people. Now, okay, he's got a power where he only makes force fields for other people. Okay, it's a weird limitation, but I can work with this. So he makes force fields for other people. So he has to be the team leader now because he's the one sitting behind cover, so he's watching shit because he can't do much else. Mm-hmm. He starts running into issues where he feels like he has no agency. Because what does he do? I put a force field over B negative, and I put a force field over Snowflake, and they go off and fight. And what do? I sit behind a fucking rock. Wow, I am so useful. You know, and he is, because he's sitting there making calls and shit, like he's yelling on your left, up there, he's doing shit. He just doesn't feel like he's doing shit.
Especially
so the issue now is that he has to realize, no, you're good at this. You're the team leader.
But that even especially works if he's like a very jock, kind of tough. I'm used to using my body to do things. I'm used to being able to fight. I'm used to this. And he has to get sort of physically sidelined.
And they built him to be a big dude. He is a big dude. He looks like he's 6'something. He's fairly, he's a big looking guy. I'm like, yeah, sure. But now he runs into superhero shit and he's like, I can't punch my way out of this. This is a problem. Yeah. And he can't take a hit because people who have super strength, it's like, no, you'll just go down, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have an interesting team dynamic going on to play with. And of course, they're not going to do any of this, but that took me 45 minutes at work. Wow, that was fucking complicated.
We did the same. I did the same thing, just ranting about the shit in the kitchen. Where I don't know if you saw the little sketch Jeff and I did, our New Warriors rejects. And I was just ranting about it. And then 30 seconds came up with backstories for our two made up characters and why that's relevant and how that actually conveys all of the same messages that the New Warriors is trying to do, but heavy handedly, where ours could just do all that stuff on the background really quietly with metaphor. So
it's not difficult. It really is not difficult to do this. It's just be subtle.
All right.
People are not this fucking dumb. Then again, Hollywood has thought people are dumb forever. It's like, no, people get subtlety.
We do. We've always have. That's why those other movies that have succeeded. We didn't get dumber. I mean, maybe we have. Who knows?
Slasher movies are a great example. They're surprised. Like when they want to be subtle, they're surprisingly subtle. And they're
absolutely. Oh yeah.
It's just like, yeah, no, horror gets it. I like it when horror respects its audience.
Dude,
and you hang around then. Like
I think horror has had the luxury of still being able to do that when it wants to because of what the genre is. There's so much of it is that on the nose, storytelling, the killer, the people trying to escape the killer, or, the evil entity and the people trying to survive, that it gives you a lot of room to play within that framework, within that very solid, trustworthy framework. It doesn't really feel like you're pushing limits or breaking boundaries. But you still have a lot of room to get in there and play, with your characters, with your small storylines and things like that, and add that subtlety, add that commentary, whatever you want it to be, in a way it's not a fucking part of the plot that's beating you over the head.
Yeah. I honestly think the other part of it is the fact that horror, even still, it's got a little more respect in modern Hollywood, but let's be fair, it still doesn't.
It's still not considered a highbrow form of cinema, yeah.
It's a quick way to make money.
like Saw let it go up a bit, and some of those movies kind of got up a bit. But even then, they view it in the same vein they view action movies.
Yeah,
like, these are pointless and no one cares. And I'm like,
yeah.
Have you ever watched Die Hard? Have you watched any of these?
There's a lot of
meaning. They're there. They're good fucking movies. They're just not a highbrow drama. I'm not going to shit on a highbrow drama. It takes a lot of fucking work to make somebody watch people talk for 2 hours.
It's true.
Okay? There's a lot of work that goes into that one.
Yep.
But if a movie is nothing but explosions, it's Commando.
Yeah.
I like Commando because it's hilarious just watching Arnold Schwarzenegger blow up buildings with claymores, because I'm like, that's not how that works, but I don't really give a shit because it's funny. He's running around with a rocket launcher like he's playing solid fucking Metal Slug. It's stupid as shit, but we all know that's what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then you get the actual ones that are trying and going somewhere with all of this, where it's an example. Yeah, you don't need to be spoon-fed a metaphor or subtext. Thank you, Matween. That's exactly on point here.
Exactly.
You don't. We're smart people. Like, this is why the movie Halloween is timeless. What's going on? It's a stranger danger movie.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Done.
It's nothing more complex than this.
Done.
But the thing is he is formless evil.
Yeah.
That's what Carpenter was trying to do with Mike Myers. He is not a person anymore.
Yeah.
That is not a human being. The mask comes off. It didn't change him. It's not like what happens with Jason. His mask comes off and he turns into this horrific, like he flips between being a super rage monster because he doesn't want you to see him, or he turns back into a little child again.
Yeah.
Which is interesting in and of itself. Jason's a fascinating villain in those movies. But Mike Myers is just an unstoppable monster. He's evil given form. That's the whole point of this. That's The Thing. My God. I don't know what the fuck the reviewers of that year were smoking, but they shit all over The Thing.
Because E.T. came out right before that, and everyone wanted cute aliens. That's the only reason it did what it did.
But it feels to me, I'm looking at this and going, if I was a reviewer at this point, I go, okay, E.T. has given us the ultimate positivity in aliens.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Steven Spielberg. This is an excellent film, because it is an excellent film. It's great. Holds up today. And then you go to The Thing. It's literally just as good.
Yeah.
It's better.
I could watch that movie right now, and the effects are fucking phenomenal. Because the practicals are astonishing in there. And I'm like, this has given us the two extremes. Mm-hmm. This is the best we could hope for with aliens, where we're kind of the assholes in this one. And then we go to the Thing where this is horrific.
Yep.
Holy fuck. I hope this isn't what happens to us.
Fuck
hope this isn't the horrible monster we run into. This is terrifying. It's like, there, you have your two extremes. They play off each other well. Like, John Carpenter almost felt like a failure after that. I'm like, no, it's beautiful. Oh my God, they're idiots.
That is, it's a phenomenal movie. I just was introduced to it not that long ago, just a few months ago by my friend. Yeah, near Halloween. So I'm going to post your link in the chat one more time, and we've already been streaming for over 2 hours. So go us. So let's get us some Mad Libs.
All right, fuck it.
Tonight, so we're going to do a Star Wars one, and we're going to do one for my After Dark, my adult love ones, because they're hilarious. So chat, in case you're not familiar with how we play this, you guys, since I have 2 other people picking words, you guys will get every third word. If you send in a super chat, it supersedes all of the chat suggestions. If it doesn't work in that initial suggestion, I will find a place to plug it in, I promise. So chat, why don't you start working on your noun? And then Hawkticus, start us off with we're doing Jabba's Palace. So start us off with an adjective.
Oh, fuck. I didn't remember what English was. I was going to be an English major.
Describes a noun. Any descriptive word.
Descriptive word here. Let me think. I'm totally not going to thesaurus.com.
It's all good.
Let me think. I'm actually not sure on this one. Let me see. I'll just pick a color. Blue.
Sure. Beth Degu comes...
Wiener comes, huh?
comes to the rescue again with Wiener.
There it is. We're just going to jump right into that. Some Rule 34 content here.
Beth has given us Wiener every single time since someone even when James Baker was like, Beth, just waiting for her to do it. Beth Degu, thank you for the Wiener. I'll just leave that there for a little bit. Of course you were going to do it. All right. So chat, you guys will be working on an adjective next, please. And Jeff, you get an adverb.
Ly.
Mhm.
Poorly.
Hmm. All right. Deep fried butthole rings. We're on to adjectives now, Zach Blackfire. All right. Hawkticus, a verb ending in ing.
Packing.
Packing. Yeah. Jeff, a verb ending in ing.
Ramming.
Of one.
How can we make this?
Oh God. Okay. So Zach Blackfire says the fuck is an adjective, a descriptive word. Robert Anderson has festering.
Colors are an easy one.
Colors are easy, but we've got festering as an option.
Oh God.
We'll take it because it's adjectives are coming in slowly. All right. So chat, you guys get a number next.
You know it's gonna be.
All right. Jeff, an adjective? Or sorry, Hawkticus, an adjective.
Another adjective.
You'll get one too.
Poor chat. Disintegrating.
There you go. Oh goodness. All right, Jeff, an adjective.
Meager.
All right. Ooh, nice. All right. So I suppose we should 69 or 42 or 3. I suppose we should go with 69, given, life.
Where this is going.
Oh God. All right, chat, if you could help me out with a noun next. Hawkticus, you also get a noun.
Y-wing.
There you go. Love it. Oh God.
Of course, now we got to take the After Dark one and make it as clean as possible.
Yeah, of course. Make it
that'd be
silly.
fun.
That would be fun.
That's fun. Let's do that.
All right. I'm down. Okay, Jeff, part of the body.
Toenail. Since mine almost fell off today.
Oh, did it really?
It almost did. I went to clip
Ew.
it and it started to move. I was like, ah.
Ew. Okay.
Some people.
All right. We've got sphincter, flabbergasted. That's an adjective still. Sandcrawler, filter, fat slug monster, flubber, Crocs. Mataween gets it with Crocs.
And the shoe.
I assume we're thinking the shoe and not the animal. I'm thinking of the shoe. Anyway, thank you, Mataween, for that wonderful suggestion. So chat, you guys are gonna chat. You guys get a part of the body next. Why not?
Oh God.
Here comes
that's
asshole. Plant
what
your
you get.
assholes. Hey, Jane.
All right. So Hawkticus, you get a noun.
Sand.
Oh, of course.
It gets rough and gets everywhere.
There you go.
Most accurate statement in that entire fucking movie. I remember.
An adjective from you.
Oh, let's see. Sleepy.
There you go. All right, chat. Part of the body.
I see butthole twice.
Butthole. Is it the same person though?
No.
All right. Butthole. Yes, it is. It's all Zach Blackfire.
I like butthole the best.
Butthole. Hoel.
Butthole? Wait, no,
shoe.
it's Buthuel.
Buthuel. Rectum. Areola. Eyelid.
I like areolas. Rectum. Damn near killed him.
God.
I've returned.
Nose, tibia. I don't know. Let's use. I misspelled it wrong. 3 times.
Medulla oblongata.
Let's use areola. That's funny.
Oh God.
I guess. Areola. Thanks, chat. All right. And you're going to finish us, Hawkticus, with a plural noun.
Crate dragons.
Crate dragon?
Yes. Krayt.
They're
from Tatooine, so I feel it's appropriate.
Just making sure I heard that correctly.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. So, Jabba's Palace, as written by us. If you ever find yourself on the remote and blue planet Tatooine, you'll notice pretty poorly that there's not much in the way of entertainment unless you happen to wander into Jabba the Hutt's wiener. Oh, of course.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
At any time of day or night, the band is packing and someone is ramming to the sound of festering music.
Ugh,
It's really gross.
I want to ram to some music.
Oh, God. But these disintegrating performers don't want to be there. They're all captives of the meager, drooling, slimy 69-pound slumlord.
Wow, he's got AIDS.
Who the fuck is this his child?
Jabba the Y-Wing. Oh, God. Who rules Tatooine with an iron toenail.
He doesn't even have a fucking toe.
I
Oh my God.
If anyone tries to escape, the guests can watch another one of Jabba's favorite forms of entertainment, dropping the unlucky Crocs into the sand pit. No one ever comes out sleepy from the sand pit. On second thought, the next time you visit Tatooine, don't set areola near Jabba's palace. The smell of Jabba alone should be enough to keep you light crate dragons away. Yep.
I was all over the fucking place.
Stay away from Jabba's wiener.
Just don't go into Jabba's wiener. No story. Don't and do not enter Jabba's wiener.
I do not want to go near a Hutt's reproductive organs.
No.
Neither does anyone else because they're hermaphroditic.
No. Yes. True. Well,
Thank God.
if you're also a Hutt, you might also be into that. Beth Digger said, "Sorry, everyone." Oh, you should.
They're technically asexual.
Last.
Thank God.
Thank God for all of them. Imagine how much more terrifying Hutt Lords would be if they raped.
Oh,
Right? What if they so raped? It's
there's
gross enough
some
when they,
fucking horror.
right? Gross enough when they lick Princess Leia's face. But oh, God, last night's was really fun too. There are traditional avenues to meet people like the workplace or the Matrix. If you want to meet people, attend a crying class at community college.
Wow.
Suggestively squeeze the largest, juiciest DVDs. Do cardio or lift matzo balls at the gym in your tightest wiener warmer. And of course, volunteer to plant nipple clamps at a neighborhood park. Yes. So tonight is SmackDown.
It's all The Rock is every noun.
No.
The Rock's laying the SmackDown.
Oh my God. So this is the SmackDown.
Oh, God.
Yep. All right. So, chat, you're gonna start us with your first thing is gonna be a noun. And Hawkticus, you're gonna start us off with a celebrity.
It's John Cena.
Boo!
Yes. Yes.
I like John Cena, damn it.
The Rock beat him first.
All right. All right.
I got John Cena.
In the room, so it can be one of us, one of the cats. It can be Hawkticus. It can be anyone from the chat.
I have a Rock action figure. He's in the room.
Oh my
The
God.
Rock.
Oh my God. Fine.
We are just doing wrestling now.
Oh
much.
my God. I will.
I'm fine with this.
If
All right.
it's called SmackDown and you don't at least have The Rock,
Oh look.
then it's SVR09.
Someone put Undertaker as a noun suggestion.
There you go.
Should we stick with the theme?
Yes.
I do kind of like beer can. Shipiggy! That's the person. Oh God. Okay. Well, Undertaker it is. Okay. Chat, you guys are gonna get another noun, so keep them coming. Hawkticus, a verb ending in ing.
Fuck, I have to end ING. Now I can't use a wrestling move. Shit.
Sorry.
Stone Cold Stunnering.
No.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Slamming.
There you go.
There. I'll be generic.
This doesn't make. Okay. Jeff, a plural part of the body, please.
Elbows.
And just in time for the next noun, Beth Degu with wiener.
You spelled coming wrong, Beth.
All right. We did know wiener was coming. All right, chat, another adjective. We're going to need an adjective from you next. Jeff, Hawkticus, I'll need an adjective from you. People's elbows.
Black.
Yeah.
It'll work for so many things.
It will. It's a very good word. All right. Jeff, you get another part of the body.
Eyebrow.
You always get the parts of the body. All
Plant
right.
your assholes down and watch
Chat,
Mindless Entertainment.
we've got engorged. Any other adjectives? I'm down to go with engorged. It was funny last night too. We had that last night as a word. It was
Engorged.
all right. Bored of waiting. Engorged it is.
Engorged of the jungle.
Gorged of. No.
Strong as he
All right.
thick as he can be.
Hawkticus, you get an adverb. So that's something that describes a verb. So an ly usually.
Expediently.
Ooh, I like that word. That's a good word. Do you know that word, Jeff? Okay. I learned it from a book once. Okay. Just wanted to share that. We had this thing called the weighty word book that our 6th grade teacher read to us. And it was all these little buttholy.
That's what I was going to click on, buttholy.
And did I tell you guys that you have a noun next? Did I tell them that? I don't know if I told them that. They have a noun. Words. Anyway, yeah, it was cool because it had like a little story that went with every word, so you remember what it was. And expedient was the E word. It was one for every letter of the alphabet. It was exciting. Anyway, Jeff, you get a type of liquid.
Beer. I was going to say shut up juice, but that's a deep cut.
Okay. I'll take it if you want to use shut up juice.
No, or monkey. Let's just stay with beer.
Okay. I think shut up juice is funnier. Whatever. It's you're an adult. Barf, stick shift, antifreeze. Oh God.
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Let's see. Bleach.
Sacco.
Oh,
I got to introduce you to Mr. Saka one day.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Anal lube.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
I don't care.
Anal
You
lube.
pick. Remember, you get to pick these. This is your part.
I know, but I take input. You want anal lube? Anal lube it is.
We have popcorn butter over there.
Chat, you get a plural noun, so I'll pluralize the nouns that are still coming in. You want to send me your plurals, go for it. But Hawkticus, an adverb, please.
Quickly.
There you go. Jeff, an adjective.
Electrifying.
All right. Plural nouns. We got dicks.
That's exactly what I'm laughing at.
Peanut butter. I would laugh if it was
There it is.
peanut butter.
You know, one day they're going to make that on Beat Bobby Flay.
All right. Peanut butter. I'm going with dicks because Zach Blackfire has been so patient and so very engaged. Beth Degoo just realized that a wiener warmer could be another term for a vagina. Amazing.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Like a lady purse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or pork
All
belly.
right. There you go. All right. Hawkticus, you get a part of the body, plural, please.
Part of the body, plural.
Yes.
Eyes.
Eyes. No, that makes too much sense in context. Pick a new one.
Oh, okay. Livers.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Chat, those nouns, or no, Jeff as a noun. The them's is plural nouns again.
Referee.
All right. Nice. Okay. What else do we dicks with peanut butter. I want someone to write penis butter. Tights. Let's see. Orgasms. There you go. I like orgasms. Orgasms will do. Orgasms. Are you looking at our selection of happiness?
I mean, I'm honestly looking at barbecue rub, so we're not going to eat this.
Or not. I would hope not. Oh, the barbecue rub. All right. Hawkticus, you are going to, your last word's going to be an adjective. Lava beans.
Sandy.
What is it?
Sandy.
Sandy. Oh, the worst. All right. And Jeff with a noun.
Gummy bear.
All right, are you ready for some Smackdown?
Just bring it.
Horrible.
All right, so he noticed her immediately. She had the beauty of John Cena and the curves of The Rock. Oh, what was a gorgeous Undertaker like her doing, slamming all alone at this party? Anyway, when their elbows locked across the crowded wiener, a black smile slowly crept across her eyebrow. The engorged chemistry seemed undeniable. It was expediently obvious that she wanted him. He grabbed 2 glasses of bubbly beer from the tray of a passing anal lube and strode quickly across the room. Her smile grew bigger the closer he got. He felt confident and electrifying. He imagined their first date, a candlelight dinner at La Maison de Dix. All livers turning when he walked in with the stunning referee on his arm. God, her life sucks. She looks like John Cena with the body of The Rock, and she's a referee.
It's The Rock's
Oh
fire.
God, he would dazzle her with witty orgasms and sandy charm. So what was the first thing you noticed about me? He said upon reaching her. She batted her eyelashes and replied, "Your gummy bear is unzipped." Bam!
The Rock does not have curves.
The Rock has
chiseled
lumps.
The Rock's head is curved, right?
There you go. The dome of his head, the curve of his shoulders on top of his shoulders.
Yeah.
Not his regular shoulders, just the
secondary shoulders.
The shoulders.
super shoulders.
His shoulders.
His extra shoulders. Oh God, tomorrow's Mad Lib is going to be walking carpet, a Wookiee speak tutorial by Han Solo.
Oh my God. Make it all about vaginas.
Oh my God. All right. So that's going to do it for today's stream. It was a pleasure having you here, Hawkticus. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, bam, go ahead and do that.
I gained 12 subscribers during this.
Hey, so
Good job, people.
Keep them rolling in, guys. Let's make that number bigger. And check out his stuff. It's great. And we'll definitely bring it back on the channel. It's super fun chatting. It's always great to have, other Uber Star Wars nerds to talk about stuff and teach me things that I didn't know. I think I might have learned something too.
I did.
Jeff doesn't learn. He knows everything already.
Thank you.
We're going to play ourselves out with our Corona kiss as usual. Hawkticus, you are welcome to stay for it, but you've been warned. So
Bye. It's 1 a.m. by me. I need to go to bed.
Thank you so much for being on here. We appreciate you so much. We'll talk again real soon.
Bye.
Good night, Hawkticus.
Beth the Goo, don't worry who Mark Waid is. He's a very bad person.
All right. So good night. Thank you for coming. Everyone subscribe to Hawkticus. Anything else you want to say before you dip out of here?
Y-Wings are better.
Y-Wings are better. You heard it first. That's why the thumbnail for my friend Hawkticus is a Y-Wing.
Peace out, everybody.
Good night. It's a pleasure having you. All right. And to finish things off,